Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
it's a rundown.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
Let's do it live on a Monday edition of the program. In this, boy, you worry about this. When you take a week off, then all of a sudden, like, you hope the throat's back. But I think we're going to be back better than ever. Merely Bo, the great Tim May is here. Jacob Reimer's here as well. How about Timbo? He's back. Last show I did like 10 days ago was with Uncle Tim, and you're back.
Yes, I am back, man. And I have a victory medal around my neck from helping win a scramble on Saturday. And you know how you and I are always talking about General Beauregard?
That's right.
Well, this was at Sheridan High for Sheridan High School's football program, benefit for that, and
nice.
General Sheridan. But yeah, I played with a guy, former pro at Columbus Country Club, Gary Taylor, and Matt Guttridge and his son Liam, who was, by the way, our banger. Liam, 15 years old, about 5'4", can hit the ball. Where do these guys come from, Bo?
They start young. I can tell you.
But
yeah,
the power through the ball was just undeniable.
So what they do, though, is what they do now, and I saw this with my kids when they were little, is when my kids were little, and there was a guy who watched him swing years ago, and you'd know who he was, and he goes,
"Yeah,
don't ever tell him to take any tempo off the swing. Have them swing as hard as they can when they're young. And then we'll work with the rest of it. Yeah, we'll get them aligned, we'll get the hands right, but just make sure they continue to swing hard." And so they do. They hit bombs like it's crazy. So I think that's my theory anyway, and how that happens.
Oh yeah, and this young man's going to be pretty good. I mean, when he gets it all together. But and he's also a kicker and plays on the soccer team. But it's just amazing, man. And Matt Guttridge, you don't know maybe you don't know him, but he does stats and stuff for 11 Warriors. I mean, this guy knows all kinds. One of the nicest people I've ever met. The whole threesome was. Liam never said a word, but Gary Taylor, I called him Gary Cooper because he hits the ball just like John Cooper, and Gary Cooper's a old time movie star for those folks born after 1970. But the bottom line is, I mean, it was a fun time on a golf course. Get this, 12-hole golf course called Whitetail Ridge that a guy just built it reminded me, Don't take this the wrong way, and not in all facets, but it reminded me of Oakmont, where I was like a month ago as a volunteer. It reminded me because he just built it on the slopes and the drainage down drains and all that kind of stuff that creates this great slopes in these hills. And there's some unbelievable views on some of these tees. I mean, I'm just going, we're in the middle of nowhere. We're east of Buckeye Lake, and I'm just going, this is great. If it hadn't been 98 degrees, it would have been really nice.
I drove through it twice. When's the last time you drove through the state of Pennsylvania?
As a matter of fact, well, depends on many times, but I've rarely gotten off the beaten path, but occasionally I do get off the beaten path. But, I mean, obviously I drove to Oakmont, but I went another way. I went through Newark, Coshocton, that way. I'd never been before. And
I'm talking about the state of Pennsylvania. Twice in the last 4 weeks.
Takes forever.
I have driven all the way through the state of Pennsylvania for lacrosse tournaments.
Takes forever.
It does. I would just tell you that this has been my experience. So this is, I mean, by the time it takes you to get out of the state, it's probably 8 hours each trip. I'd say around 16 hours probably there and back 4 times twice in the last 4 weeks. And this is what I would tell you. The Pennsylvania drivers, everything is the Daytona 500.
Oh yeah,
the speed with which they drive at is just I'm in marvel of it. The other thing that jumps out to me is, and this is not an ounce of hyperbole, I drove 76, the Pennsylvania Turnpike, from Pittsburgh basically to Baltimore. Before you have to go all the way over, and then you go down North
70.
Maryland. Yeah. And as we were doing it, Tim, I did not see a single Pennsylvania Highway Patrol.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, isn't that
in
amazing?
2 trips, none of them. Now, as soon as you cross over the state line,
yeah,
we're ready.
They're waiting
Stadies
for
are ready. But in Pennsylvania, I don't think they give a damn. Go as fast as you want, kids.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I just 2 trips all the way across the state.
Hey, I'm not knocking
one highway patrol.
I'm not knocking our highway patrol in the state of Ohio, but it literally reminds me of sitting, instead of getting you for speeding in the pits, they get you for speeding when you come out of the, you know what I mean, from the slow zones to the fast zones and stuff. You know,
they do.
you know me, man, I drive almost everywhere I can drive that's feasible and sometimes unfeasible. And you're right. I mean, guarantee you see 10 times as many highway patrol from Ohio as you do the rest of your trip. I mean, no matter which way you're going, and it's interesting. It's an interesting concept.
You can go 71 north or south, and you can go all the way to Cincinnati or all the way up through Cleveland.
Yeah.
And you will see, I would put the over-under at a dozen. Either way you went.
There are pockets.
Like where they are.
Yeah,
you know
Morrow
very well
County.
Where they are.
Yeah, right
They're
on
always
up.
waiting.
Up there, what's the county in Mansfield?
Well,
I can't remember.
they're always right there in Mount Vernon.
And
they're
up
ready
around
for you.
Ashland County. I mean, it's pretty interesting. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, and I didn't see one in 2 trips all the way across the state of Pennsylvania. I did not see one.
Yeah, that's life, baby. That's life. Live
that's
it.
The way it goes a little bit. I wanted to tell you this. So we got the new NCAA football game on the Xbox, which is if young Tim May.
Oh.
You can't even wrap your head around it. Like, it's so immersive. It's an unbelievable. It's awesome.
Yes.
They get all of the pieces right. Everything that you love about college football, they get all of that right. Last night we had got home, and Beamsy was playing the Ohio State-Texas game. And I heard him just screaming, Arch Manning, you suck. Arch Manning, you suck. Like,
you're not as good as I thought you were going to be.
That's right. He's an 11-year-old, so he's all jacked up. So I go down there. I'm like, what is going on? And it was a tight game. And he ended up losing to Texas. And before it goes final, he turns it off. And I go, why did you turn it off? I go, they beat you. Why'd you get plenty of season? He goes, Dad, I'm not losing to Texas.
Yeah.
And I said, so then it got into an interesting conversation. I said, buddy, I think there's a chance that Texas could come in here and win. Texas is a really good team. Ohio State's a really good team, but this is a little bit of a rebuilding year for the Buckeyes, a little bit. I mean, you got freshman quarterback, like you got a lot of new faces. A lot of guys went to the league. Everybody knows that. I said, maybe prepare for a little bit of growing pains, and he was having none of it.
Well,
none of it. And it kind of reminded me of just the psyche of the Buckeye fan coming off a national championship. Yeah, but what's next? And you better not lose to Texas, or you're going to hear about it. It's just such a unique scenario. Like, it's totally reasonable to lose to Texas in the opener. That's reasonable. Yeah. But there's almost nothing reasonable about an 11-year-old.
I don't know if you talked about that on Thursday. When you talked about it earlier, maybe it was Feinbaum. Was Feinbaum, because I was busy Thursday, I couldn't listen. But did Feinbaum pick Texas when he was on last Thursday? Because the guys at A-Aero Radiator and General Car Repair, where I take my cars to get work done. They're great guys, man. I don't hate and run. There's a plug for them. But the bottom line, they were saying, that Bo Bishop, man, he picked Texas. And I go,
no, it wasn't me. I wasn't on Thursday.
I would think it would have been Feinbaum, who, by the way, loves to walk up to a fire and throw a gasoline can at it. You know what I mean? I mean, he's really good at that. Yeah. But here's the thing I say. Texas is filling in almost at least as many spots as Ohio State is when it comes to guys they lost to the draft, et cetera. And they're going to have a first time full-time starting quarterback in Arch Manning. And I think his stats, from when he played last year against Louisiana Monroe and who else? UT San Antonio Mississippi State.
He had 3. Yeah. Mississippi State, UT San Antonio, and I think UL Monroe. Yeah. I think those were the 3.
Well, okay, those are really good. I mean, Mississippi State got drubbed by Toledo.
It isn't even though that. And you and I have talked about this before. This is going to be the most wide open season in the history of the sport because all of the halves are starting over at quarterback. All of them. There's not returning guys anywhere like Nussmeier, Aller. I mean, there's nothing. So all of the major programs are starting over. So it's going to be wide open as ever. The point that I was making was not that that Ohio State or Texas or how that's going to go. We got a month and a half to talk about that. But it was just this idea of, for him, it is unreasonable for Ohio State to lose to Texas.
Oh yeah, I know, because and
I'm like,
hey, there's
it's
nothing,
like, buddy, it can happen. I mean, they're very good.
Listen, there's nothing that runs smoother than a brand new bandwagon. I mean, you know what I mean? The wheels are all greased. Everybody thinks the band's sitting in the back and the music is great and loud, and it's be careful. But I'm gonna tell you something, Bo. We've talked about this before, I'm sure. No program. I mean, no program in the country has been as major blip free, and I'm talking about 2 blips, maybe 3 blips since I've been covering Ohio State in 42 years, than Ohio State, from a not have a huge drop year. You understand what I'm saying? There've been like
years without a dip.
There've been like 3, and
but they're so minimal, Tim.
Yeah, and 2011 was an aberration because you lost, your superstars from that team, because of the Tatgate and the fallout from Tatgate. But yeah, it's and I'm like I'm taking Ryan Day at his word. They're not going to be at the start of the year anywhere near as experienced as they were last year, but they are going to be a talented team. Now it's you pile on the experience and see where it takes you. But Texas is kind of the same team if you look at the guys they lost, including their starting quarterback. So whether Arch Manning III should have been the starting quarterback all year last year for Texas, well, the guy who was the head coach didn't think that. You know what I mean?
No, he didn't. No.
I think that's all that matters. So I think I'm as curious about watching Julian Sayin play on August the 30th as I am Arch Manning III. That is for sure.
Let me tell you this. Back to the video game, and you mentioned Sayin. They have his release down to a T.
Dude, if it's a blur, it's right.
It looks exactly like the way he throws it. I mean, it's crazy. I was watching him play my middle play last night. I'm like, dude, he looks just like how he throws it.
Hey,
because they haven't really seen him play.
Hey, before you go to a break, I do want somewhere in this next 2.5 hours, I want us to talk about the quarterback, the Netflix thing.
Okay.
I watched it. I what do you call it when you binge watched it? I binge watched the whole thing of this year. Oh my goodness! You talk about making something that Tim May could watch 20 times.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like
cool.
It's my Shawshank.
You know what else is pretty cool?
What?
20 most interesting programs. The topic today, one of my all-time favorites, one you know quite a bit about. It is the SMU Mustangs, the Pony Express. Man, what a year one for them in the Power 5, Power 4, I guess, as it were. Billy Embody will join us on that. Awesome, going to join us at 10:30. We're off and running on a Monday edition. It's good to be back. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Back to Hollywood Casino Columbus and the ESPN Bet Sportsbook for an all-star game celebration and watch party. When? Tuesday, July 15th. Compete in our home run derby at 7 o'clock for a chance to win an incredible experience at an upcoming Reds game, plus a $250 gift card. So join On the Money's Dave Biddle and me, Scotty Vegas. Compete to win at 7 and enjoy the all-star game at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at 8. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, I got the nicest Google review today. Dewey from Gahanna said, "We cannot believe we are able to get the Pella look and quality at the cost we did."
I got a review too. Listen to this. These windows were great. Oh boy. For about a year. Looks like I'll need to renew, in quotes for some reason, my windows way too soon. Repeat customer?
Get the window that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
You know that project you've been working on? Just chipping away at it, dreaming of the day you get to show it off? Then, when you're least expecting it, cancer. And finishing that project actually happens. I would know. I've been restoring this car for years, and today I'm giving it to my granddaughter. It's her 16th birthday and 2 years since my cancer diagnosis.
Mom, you finished it?
Happy birthday, boo-boo. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and at Toyota West, we're having our biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're searching for. And during our Go Forth sales event, every pre-owned vehicle is discounted and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. At Toyota West, you don't have to choose between a great experience and a great price. We deliver both. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't let bad feet stop you from being active and getting healthy this year. Trade in your bad feet for good feet at the Good Feet store.
Rothman and Ice.
When you're paying a guy this amount of money, you either feel like you're right there and he's going to put you over the top, or you've got the runway to get it done.
Rothman and Ice. Weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan.
The outdoor drama Tecumseh is back this summer. The drama, the history, and the spectacle make Tecumseh one of Ohio's most beloved traditions. Tecumseh has provided thrilling live entertainment for 50 years, and the outdoor theater at Sugarloaf Mountain will provide a safe and memorable experience for your entire family. Get tickets now at tecumsehdrama.com. This message is made possible in part by the Ohio Arts Council. Tecumseh, experience the drama.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Chances of showers and thunderstorms today will be a lot more spread out than this morning. Otherwise, expect skies to be mostly to partly cloudy with our afternoon highs in the upper 80s. For tonight, mostly clear skies overnight, lows down right around 70. And then for tomorrow, we'll see chances of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, more isolated in nature. Otherwise, skies will be mostly sunny with our highs near 90. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Just when you thought afternoons couldn't get any dumber.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Your home for dumb. The Fan. We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed it is, and Bishop & Friends is sponsored by Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for over 78 years. Tim, I always, on these domestic issues, and this one with Quinnshon Judkins, I always tread very, very lightly because I had a buddy of mine, still is a buddy of mine, who's a detective in Columbus Police, and he said, these are the toughest things, man.
Oh, yeah.
These things are so tough. So it happened. There was an arrest, that much we know. Quinnshon Judkins arrested Saturday in Fort Lauderdale, alleged case of domestic violence. According to Broward County inmate records, the description of charges is inmate details specifies battery, domestic violence via touch or strike. The sergeants on the scene had this statement to ESPN on July 12th. Approximately 9 a.m., Fort Lauderdale police officers responded to a 1,500. We don't need all of that. That's just the details of it. And then there was a report that the incident reportedly happened on July 7th after the victim had left the airport but didn't report it until Saturday. So these things they're really brutal. We've had to do these. You have to do these things. You've done them before. It sucks anytime you have to for everybody involved in it. Sometimes it's absolutely fact and it's guilt and you should get all of the punishment that you can possibly get. Other instances it's not and there's a gray area and who knows. So It's a hard talk. To say the least. We're aware that it happened, and there was nothing here that we saw that I'm sure, and I don't want to speak for you, but I never heard anything in terms of Quinnshon with any behavioral stuff while he was here. I know there's some whispers at Ole Miss, but nothing while he was here.
Yeah, but even the whispers at Ole Miss, somebody, this is what bothers you. Somebody puts online last night rehashing his discontent with Ole Miss and the coaching staff, and maybe some guys on the team. His second year there, when they were running him, they're running him like a pack mule. I mean, it's like, and he never really got into depth on that one. We, at least when I was part of interviews with him at Ohio State, on how tough that was. But obviously he accepted sharing time with Travion Henderson incredibly well. What a 1-2 punch at the end of the year. Ask Texas about him, So in that regard, but I don't equate being in the locker room and, being upset about how things are being done with what is being alleged here. Yeah. And plus I learned a new term yesterday. I've never heard of and I'm sure it's been out there, but I've never heard of the term delayed battery. I don't even... That's really strange. That kind of throws another curve into this situation. But like you said, you always err on the side of the female in these things, at least from the start, because they are, they are the underdog for one of I don't know how you would, the mismatch. They are the mismatch in the situation. But then the more you learn, the more details that do come out and sometimes don't come out, the more you go, wow, and so you're right. It's best to just let everything settle and see what's up. So it's very unfortunate for both people. Let's put it that way.
From a football perspective, is not under contract with the Browns. He
has not signed?
No.
Okay. Because there was some conjecture, I know, in some parts that he had signed or that he hadn't signed. So go ahead.
Yeah. So there's that part of it too, and we'll just see what the process is and how it plays out. But it's whatever the end game is. This is not what anybody involved wanted.
No.
Is this to pop up? I mean, he's supposed to report, I think, Friday up there on the 18th.
Yes.
So. Yeah, it's not good on anything, but we'll see and let the.
Well, there'll be a stigma there on him now too. No matter what,
no matter
how this plays out, there will be a stigma attached with his name, which is too bad. I thought the most controversial thing he was last year with Ohio State was how half of his hair was blonde or gold, and the other half was black. I mean, I asked him about it a couple of times.
He's got it. Yeah, this is one of those things where it'll play itself out, and then it doesn't do much good to hypothesize beyond that.
No.
Which episode? You mentioned the quarterback series that you were watching. Which was it? The one from last year with Cousins?
No, well, Cousins is in both of them. And this was from the 2024 season. Cousins, Joe Burrow, and Cousins, Joe Burrow, and who's the other
started
one?
This yet?
Jared Goff.
Oh, wow. You're the second person who I think is pretty damn smart on football who has said that it's incredible.
No, it's incredible because, number one, the access. That's what gets me. I've at times in my life, I've had really good access to certain things and certain not. But, I mean, just to be with them, almost when they wake up every day and stuff. I don't know how that works, but, knock, knock, who's there? The cameraman. But there's this one episode where and I'm not gonna give it all away. By the way, none of them have a good playoff situation. But I'll go leave it at that. But everybody knows the answer to that. But where they just start off the show on what a quarterback goes through in 15 seconds, in the 15 seconds before a snap, and then of course immediately after the snap. But to me, that's the most intriguing part of sports, as Peyton Manning says, because he's behind this series, and I agree. It is the most difficult position to play in sport, period. And
most important too,
because you're supposed to be this, Lamar Jackson, great athlete kind of dude, but also you got to know what everybody else is doing. You got to know what the defense is doing or figure it out, and all in a span of seconds, sometimes in milliseconds after the snap and stuff. And it's to me, it's very intriguing because I've always told people, Bo, that the real defining point for quarterbacks is high school to college, how much faster the game goes, and in college to the NFL, how much faster the game goes. And there are very few, and you can look it up in history, and you know this, very few quarterbacks make that total transition where they can handle the mental aspect of the game along with being physically gifted enough to play it. And that is the, because Neil Armstrong, landed on the moon and made some great last-second adjustments, but he didn't have a 300-pound defensive tackle bearing down on him as he did that and hit him as he made the landing. You know what I mean?
I do. I also think, though, it is fair. Everything you said is true. I do think, though, it's now easier than it's ever been for those who really are gifted. I mean, some of these.
But you still got to put it all together.
For sure. But, like, if you think about Peyton Manning's rookie year where he led the league in interceptions.
Oh, yeah.
And then you compare it to what C.J. Stroud did 2 years ago or what Jaden Daniels did last year.
I agree.
And I think it's on the NFL side. I think the NFL runs more college scheme. There's not much difference. You think about the old days when they take a college quarterback, whether they were running spread or, heck, in the old days, triple option, and then they tried turning him into like a West Coast offense quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, they tried doing that with Michael Vick.
Yeah.
Think about that, Tim.
I know.
They got him with the Falcons, and they said, we're going to run the West Coast with Michael Vick.
Right.
A guy who has a cannon attached to his left shoulder and is the fastest player on the field. They're like, we're going to make him read and get the ball out of his hands ultra quick. And they tried to make him a West Coast quarterback. Like, they would never do that now.
Yeah.
Now they would say 4 wide, empty, or a back next to you, 1 read go. I mean, they would have made it so much easier now.
But let me ask you this. I mean, like for example, you intimately cover the Browns. You're on top of the Browns thing, and the problem is, how do you come up with an offense that suits all 4 of those? All 4 of those quarterbacks in their camp right now are different. I mean, they are different, man, and you have to have something, finally, a common denominator for the offense so that, your tackles and your wide receivers and your running backs, et cetera, are attuned to what's going on. I mean, that's the toughest part, is making it sometimes you make it so complex, it just gets in the way. And
I think in that scenario, I think Shedeur and Dillon are pretty similar.
Yeah, but
in terms of their,
I think
one's left, one's right. Their size is a little different, but they're both
they size things
quick.
up. Yeah, they size things up pretty well. Dillon, I think, is the better, basically pure runner. If in fact they have to run, Shadeur's pretty good at it. But you're right. I mean,
they're both accurate.
My
they both
point
get
is
it out pretty quick.
My point is, though, you don't get enough. And Ryan Day addressed this in the spring. Is very accurate. You don't get enough reps anymore. Backup quarterbacks get no reps. I mean, that's what's amazing. When Kirk Cousins gets demoted, everybody knows, it's factual. Kirk Cousins got demoted last year because he got banged up and just kept playing, and that's the worst thing you can do. Ask Baker Mayfield. And then all of a sudden he's on the scout team. He's getting no reps, because Michael Penix Jr. trying to bring him along fast, force feeding him through a fire hose.
And a fire hose,
and Kirk, bless his heart, hangs in there and helps him, you know what I mean, to a certain extent. But a lot of guys won't do that, as we well know. So I just think I agree. It's the most difficult position to play in sport, without a doubt, because of just the complexity from a mental standpoint. And from one team to another, they make it more complex than it has to be. Yeah, I think you agree with that.
There's no doubt. Yeah, it's gotten better, but it's still absolutely brutal. Are we going to have super conferences in major college football? One prominent member of the sport says, hey, we already got them. We'll have the details from that in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible: overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos. Fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
With over 33 years of experience, Newman Roofing has become a household name in Central Ohio. Voted best roofing company 4 years in a row, Newman Roofing delivers a white glove experience every time. When it comes to your roof, call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com today.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
It's the summer event at Germain Honda of Dublin, and Rich has unbeatable offers. Lease a sleek 2025 Honda Accord LX for as low as $329 a month, or finance it with 3.99% APR. Or upgrade to Adventure with a 25 Honda Pilot Sport all-wheel drive. Leases starting at $429 per month or 4.49% APR. Drive into summer with style, comfort, and confidence. Visit Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. See dealer for details.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, here's what's up on a Monday. We're going to play a little game, Uncle Tim, called Guess Who Said That, all right? I'm going to read you the quote, and then you try to guess who said it.
All right.
Last year, our first as a 16-member team. Last year, our first as a 16-member, what I think is super conference. For all of those of you who like to speculate about super conferences, welcome to one. Who do you think said that?
Paul Feinbaum.
Close.
No,
Who's his best buddy?
I was being messing.
Who's his best buddy?
Greg Sankey.
You nailed it. Yeah. Greg Sankey is the Vince McMahon of college athletics.
Yeah.
He's the best promoter in the game.
Yeah.
And he will talk to anybody who asks a question. If there's a camera, he'll get on, and he beats his drum relentlessly for his programs. And it works. It does.
Yeah, but you know what? It's one of those things, too, where people remember. And and then you get reminded, the Big Ten has won the last 2 national championships.
No doubt.
And probably should have won the last 3 when you think about it. But
but you got the last 2.
Yeah, the last 2. And okay, whatever you say, brother. I mean, you got Mississippi State sitting there. You got Vanderbilt sitting there, despite their Pat Pavia, their quarterback.
It doesn't even matter if it's true. It's his truth.
I know. You got Arkansas sitting there.
It's the great line from Costanza. It's not a lie if you believe it.
Right, but it's also great to be in It's also great to be in a club that's got these several dynamic leaders at the top of it. Right. I mean, I'm talking about both of these conferences, the Big Ten and the SEC.
Well, I wish. I wish Petiti was a little more chesty.
Yeah.
I mean, we never hear from him. He finally did the Klatt podcast like 2 weeks ago. That's the first time I'd heard him talk in depth on anything ever.
Right.
And in the meantime, you hear from Sankey all the time beating the drum for his operation. Now, it's 2 different ways of going about things. The Big Ten is doing things quietly behind closed doors, and the SEC is doing everything kind of out in front. And we all kind of know that they're going to decide what this thing looks like going forward.
Wait, let me add one thing, though.
Yeah,
I grew up in Alabama and Texas, right?
Yeah.
And the SEC, and there's no reason for it now, but the SEC has always had a slight inferiority complex because of all things that went down, in college football through the through the formative years, including in the 60s when there were no African-American players, for the most part, playing on SEC teams and stuff. And I remember, it was the strangest time to grow up in Alabama, Bo, because on the one hand, the only thing you were proud of was your Alabama football team living in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And we lived where I lived in Demopolis. We lived like 55 miles west of Selma. We were in the heart of it. And then finally, they got their act together, common sense, and started playing African American players. And then things changed. But the thing is, the only thing they had to be proud of in Alabama, really, back in the early 60s. Was the Alabama football team, and it wasn't integrated. So, I mean, it's always come from an inferiority thing. You would play these teams from the north, like Nebraska, when Alabama beat Nebraska 2 years in a row in bowl games. It was great, and so.
You said the 60s, buddy. I think you could say the 1860s.
Well,
I truly mean it.
I'm just talking about when I grew up.
No. I'm telling you, though, in the time I was down there, I felt like it was, this is the one thing we do well.
Yeah.
And they didn't, to your point, they didn't always do it well.
No.
Alabama almost always did it well, but not everybody down there did. Florida walks around like they have Ohio State's history. They don't. They don't have it in the vicinity of it. Georgia doesn't have it in the Tennessee. None of them do. They have these little pockets, but they don't have this. They're not Notre Dame. They don't have Michigan, that type of long-standing dominance. It's not there.
Right.
But they walk around like they do.
Right.
Right. And so that speaks to the thing.
Strut around.
Absolutely. And they run their mouths. And I think a lot of it is a lot of the credit for this probably goes to Roy Kramer, who was the commissioner who in the 90s started the SEC title game.
Right.
And and did that deal with CBS. That's what took the most regional brand that there is, I think, in all of sport and made it kind of a national brand.
Yes.
Because if you go look at the 80s in the SEC, what are you looking at?
Right.
I mean, go look at the 70s other than Alabama. What are you looking at?
Right.
There ain't much.
No, there ain't much, baby. And like you just said, I mean, when you said that about the SEC championship game, the first one, of course, was 92, I think. And I remember watching.
Alabama, right?
I remember watching it on the big screen. My wife and I were in Vegas for our 10th anniversary, and I remember watching it on the big screen at Sam's Town, down there, because my wife was shopping at this big flea market for all kinds. She got me a nice pair of boots, by the way, so I appreciated that. But I remember watching. I go, this is great, because it kind of like added an Army-Navy game, to the postseason, you know what I mean, type thing. Hey, this is pretty cool, and of course everybody followed suit. And now, of course, we don't get into that conversation right now, but now those games are going to go. They have to go the way of the donkey cart. You would think headed forward, but you're right. They found a way. They found a way to be relevant.
Do you think that the path for the college football conference championship games, do you think that they are just trying to, because they don't want to give back the money? That's where this Patini thing comes with, 1 versus 2, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5, playing stuff, games all day long, adding another high leverage game. Go ask a coach how they feel about that. But that's what that comes to. They're trying to create more money. They're not going to give any back.
Right.
So to me, the only way that you could do that is if they make that part of the playoff, and otherwise,
this is crazy. Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Tim May, like 30 years ago. Matter of fact, the NCAA News reposted this story I wrote where I proposed that you would have 8 super conferences of 12 teams or more. Okay, and each of those conferences would have a championship game, and that means the playoffs would start with the championship game of your conference. If you won that, you advanced into the round of 8. You know what I mean? And and that literally, it made sense to me back then, because there was so much money you could make, even because that's when TV really started coming into the fore in terms of cash. And it's really funny, that proposal, that I came up with something very similar to that a long time ago, because I've always believed if you didn't win your conference, why should you play for a national championship? See? And
when you wrote that, though, and you said that was how long ago?
35 years ago, a long time ago.
At that time, though, there probably was, not probably, absolutely, there was more parity in the sport than there is now.
Oh, absolutely.
The ACC could kind of handle its own. I mean, heck, the Big East at one point had Miami and Virginia Tech.
Right.
Both kind of humming in the 90s.
Well, I would interrupt. I mean, I think at the top, I think all conferences have always been top heavy in some form or fashion, depending, because, when you could give, 105, 100, I mean, Texas and Alabama would have 120 guys running around out there. Nebraska, 135. Absolutely, you know what I mean? They could hoard players, and it really kept the others down on the farm. The other programs in a lot of those respects. But go ahead.
No, I guess my point was unfortunately what's happened in the sport over the last 20 years is what used to have been 8 is now kind of 2 and a couple of spares.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that the Big 12 is a serious conference.
Yeah.
I don't. I think the ACC, the top of it seems pretty serious, but how long can they withstand at the top?
But at least they're trying.
It's a big year for the ACC, Tim. It's a big year for Clemson. It's a big year. Miami. I mean, those schools have put a ton of money into those programs, and they need to see some dividends for it. Because as you know, with those programs, it's not an endless supply of cash.
No, exactly.
With those programs.
Dude, it was always, it's really funny, because you think you're going to do these things and it's going to even the playing field out for everybody, and it's never going ever ever going to be even. I mean, Congress can even get involved if they ever come up with a big, beautiful bill for college football, right?
Right. Yeah.
They can get involved. The haves are still going to figure it out. The blue bloods are still going to figure it out because they have deeper pockets. It always comes down, finally, to maybe money's not necessarily the term. The demands of what's expected, at the blue blood programs is not necessarily what you see on the what I call the nouveau blue bloods. They have fun with it for a while and then they lose interest. People at Texas and Alabama and Ohio State and USC and Notre Dame, and Georgia, and throw a few more in there. They want to be damn good every year, right. and if not, as the saying goes, at Ohio State in one of the fight songs, we'll win the game or know the reason why, and and things will get taken care of. So that's never going to change. I hope everybody understands this. Even with revenue sharing and NIL and the ability to pay players, the big boys are still going to pretty much hold roost 8 times out of 10.
That's 100% fact. That's the way it's kind of one of the seedy underbelly, that part that reality of it is why I love it. It's
what's funny?
As it gets.
Remember, what's funny? Pork belly used to be, who's going to eat that, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Everybody loves pork belly.
They like it now. Are the Buckeyes being disrespected? One prominent member of the team, the prominent member of the team says, yeah, I think we are. We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
Newman Roofing is proud to sponsor The Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat Fan Drive. Help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. Purchase new box fans and take them to the nearest Franklin County Fire Station or buy online. For more information, go to lifecarealliance.org.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.44%, APR 6.47% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3RD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
At Delta Dental of Ohio, we understand oral and vision health is connected to overall well-being. With Delta Dental and Delta Vision, you get affordable, comprehensive coverage from a name you know and trust. Our plans are designed to keep your teeth strong and vision clear, so you can confidently smile at life. 2 great plans, 1 name you can trust. Learn more at deltadentaloh.com.
Another reason to choose Hinderer Motor Company for your next vehicle. This is Justin Hinderer. Every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty, award-winning service, and our exclusive Carvenience. We pick up your vehicle, service it, and return it so you save time and enjoy peace of mind. That's Carvenience. At Hinderer Motor Company, we take care of everything so you can drive worry-free. See why we're the best choice for your next new or used car by visiting hinderermotorcompany.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Friday, July 25th is Recovery Ohio's Mental Health Day at the Ohio State Fair. Visit the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, the Department of Insurance, and other state agency booths. Come learn about mental health resources available to you and to your family. Join us on Friday, July 25th for Recovery Ohio's Mental Health Day at the Ohio State Fair.
After an audit of our programming, the suits here at The Fan decided we needed more baseball. And that common man is stupid. Good news, we fixed one of those problems. Catch the Reds on The Fan all season long. Yay, baseball.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-555-2085. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-555-2085. That's 800-555-2085. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-555-2085.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Accurate Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
When General Sherman marched through Georgia, he was listening to this show.
Use your skills for good, young warrior.
This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, let's have a listen to Jeremiah Smith with 10 TV's Adam King on these Buckeyes proving the doubters wrong.
We put in a lot of work with Coach Meg. We put in the workouts this year was harder than last year, I should say. They've been pushing us hard, because it's a new team. Everybody got new roles and stuff like that. But I just can't wait till the season starts, and we definitely go put on a show. A lot of people have been doubting us. I've been seeing on Twitter and social media, so I can't wait to prove a lot of people wrong this year.
This is one of the absolute magical things that the Ohio State staff can do, Tim, and that. It's a beautiful thing. That it's kind of like you ever see that movie Crocodile Dundee?
Yeah, of course. That's not a knife. That's not a knife.
Remember when he gets out of the car? There's the water buffalo in the road, and he does that little thing, and the water buffalo just falls over and sleeps. I think Ohio State coaches do that to their players because who the heck is doubting Jeremiah Smith?
Yeah,
he's universally the best player in college football, but on every single. By any metric, everybody has him that generational, all of it. Ohio State's going to start the year, no worse than 3rd in the country, most likely 2nd or 1st is where they're going to start it. And yet somehow they do this every year. They're able to find these little kernels of doubt somewhere, and then they play off of it. Yeah. But the reality is nobody doubts Ohio State. Everybody expects him to be in the playoff. They're going to start the year in the top 3 in the country. He's the best player in the country. The best defensive player on the country's on the other side of the field.
Yeah, I mean, there's scorn about Ohio State, but you're not.
People might not like you.
Yeah, fine. People might not like you. That's fact of life, especially when you're king of the roost. But the bottom line is they definitely have to respect you. And when you start off a game, the magnitude of Ohio State, Texas, and I say this, Bo, I would much rather see this game at the end of October than at the end of August, right? I mean, because that would be a true measure of what we're talking about here.
I'd even end of September, I think, is okay.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even mind end of September.
I'm just saying, they're going to be so much different. These teams are going to be so different than they're going to be that first day because there are so many new places being counted on to in big roles. But Jeremiah Smith, the curious of us, or where are they going to take the next step? What's the next step for Jeremiah Smith in terms of involvement with the offense? And really, how much do you want him to be involved earlier in the year? If you follow my drift, because that 4-game playoff, man, is a march. And but there's so many things they can do with him because he's big, he's fast, he has a savvy for the game. His catching ability is par excellence. Like I've always said, he puts himself between the football and the defender better, as well as Chris Carter did. It may be, if not even better, in all kinds of ways. But you don't want to wear. You don't want to. It's like those red tires in a race, in Formula One or in IndyCar. You want to put them on for the final stint, not the
right.
You want to have those long-lasting tires earlier in the race. So how much do you use him really at the beginning, except maybe to dabble? And you're going to have to use him against Texas, but Texas found a way to take him away last year, or at least according to Ohio State, they did. Now you figure out a way to use him. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the thing this kind of goes back to that conversation we were having at the top with like the Texas. Texas could come. Who knows what's going to happen in that game?
Right.
But here's the reality of it. It's not going to feel like it to anybody who's there. It's not going to feel like it to any of us out here watching. In reality, though, in this college football, and nobody wants to say this part out loud, but it's kind of the truth. It's kind of just a really, really high-profile exhibition game.
Yes, that's exactly
it. Kind of is, because it's the opener, and what you're going to be 12 weeks later, by the time you get to December, that's the team that matters. That's the team you're judged on.
Correct.
And so, to me, I mean, everyone's going to take it, everybody involved in it is playing to win the thing. But the reality is that for whichever team loses, and no matter the manner with which they lose, big or little or close, doesn't matter, you're not going anywhere. The loser of that game is going to drop at most to what, 8th in the country?
Right.
Like at most.
Oh,
so there's no scenario where the loser there is cooked at all. And it's such a long road. I mean, it hit you last year when you play a Rose Bowl and you go, my God, we got to play 2 more of these.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, this path is so arduous that it's really just a very, very high profile exhibition.
You just want the lead singers to make it's kind of like a band. You know what I mean? The Eagles without Glenn Fry and Don Henley, you know what I mean? They endured, right? And they brought, other guys came and went, and many of them stuck around like Joe Walsh. But I don't mean to get deep into that analogy, but it wasn't the same band that started in like 69 and 70. And you just want the primary guys. Like it was so major that Will Howard started every game last year because he got better as the year went on. Yeah. And to lose a guy like Georgia lost Carson Beck, that was their. Whether you thought Carson Beck was on any kind of level that could take them to a championship, well, we'll never know, right? Maybe we'll find out this year with Miami. I don't think so.
Me either.
But you understand what I mean? It's so much luck involved, but also making sure the primary players in the band are there in December. And I thought Ryan Day and his staff, I mean, you lose 2 starting offensive linemen. Are you kidding me? Last year. And yet you make the playoffs and win it with an offensive line playing maybe the best it played all year at the end of the year. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a survival thing now and that's going to be the needle that college football has to thread here, right? Because what makes it so special is that anything can happen on any given Saturday and that every game matters.
And anybody can go down.
Absolutely. You can have an injury at any point. And so college football, with all of this thing that they're doing to create more and more revenue, they have to make sure that games like that one continue to be played.
Right.
Because that's really, you just mentioned that as a kid with Alabama when Nebraska would play. And there's the famous story about when USC came into Tuscaloosa and Bear said, bring them in here to see. And they beat them up. Sam Cunningham, wasn't it?
Sam Cunningham.
Yeah. And so those type of moments,
that night it was Sam. That night it was Sam Bama Cunningham. Yeah. But it changed. It revolutionized Alabama football because the next year Alabama had a couple of African-American players, but went to the Coliseum and upset USC by running the wishbone, just surprised them by running the wishbone. But, these days you can't really do things like that anymore. You can't necessarily surprise somebody. But, yes, those are seminal moments, in college football history. But right now, what Ohio State did last year, I hope people understand it. It's phenomenal. I know my friend Bill Rabinowitz has written a book. It's going to come out, pretty soon, just getting into the stories behind a lot of what went on there. And it'd probably be a pretty good seller because there were so many remarkable stories behind the scenes of the way that team came together and meshed. I mean, we just talked about a while ago, the Quinnshon Judkins, Travion Henderson chemistry at the end of the year was unbelievable. I owe a lot of that to those 2 young men. I also owe a lot of it to Carlos Loughlin, who came in, at the end of spring,
right? Yeah,
and became a coach that really was demanding of these 2 sort of semi-superstars, and that's just a microcosm of what I'm talking about, of everything that came right with that team as the year progressed.
Yeah, absolutely did. Second hour of the program coming up next. Austin Ward going to join us at 10:30. Coming up next, we blitz the weekend. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
T-Bone and Tyvis are everything you want in a delicious breakfast. Lots of empty calories, no nutritional value.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
My toilet's clogged, backed up too. The sink is running slow. Water's backed up everywhere. Oh, please don't overflow.
Clogged drain, no problem. It's 93 or free. I'll clear any drain, or you don't pay with a 1-year guarantee.
It's 93 or free. Guaranteed.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. Did you know their co-founders are Ohio natives? Well, you should. Window Nation has been replacing windows in the Columbus region for over 15 years. Not only does Window Nation know what windows work best for Ohio homeowners like you, they're also local to the area. And right now, you can take advantage of Window Nation's biggest sale of the year. Remember this number, 50% off. All window styles, all from Window Nation. 50% off plus 0 interest for 5 whole years. Yeah, I said that. 5 whole years, 2030. No interest on the windows from Window Nation. Plus, they'll install your new windows in 1 day or less. Get the windows you want for 50% off plus no interest until 2030. What are you waiting for? Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com today to get your free quote on replacement windows. Again, I can't stress this enough. You do not want to miss out on this deal. 866-90-NATION or windownation.com. And tell them T-Bone sent you.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
Hey, it's Timmy Hall. Sometimes dealing with home service contractors can be frustrating. Not like me singing loudly in the shower frustrating. Real life aggravation. They might not return your call. The workmanship is sloppy. Maybe there's just general indifference about helping you. Frustrating sometimes doesn't even describe it. That's why I want to tell you about my new friends at Victor's Home Solutions. Victor's installs the highest quality roofs and windows you can buy, and they'll take those negative experiences you've had and turn them on their head. You'll experience prompt follow-up service, on-time appointments, and their teams are helpful, professional, and courteous. Their service and installation crews always go above and beyond because they know how much your home means to you. They offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install, and their windows come fully equipped with lifetime warranties. So call 1-866-VICTORS or go to victors.com. Get your free 21-point roof and window inspection. Experience their 5-star customer service and see why they have a 4.9 Google rating. Again, that's 1-866-VICTORS or victors.com.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Jacob Reimer. It was a good weekend on the diamond for both Ohio baseball teams. Cincinnati took down the Colorado Rockies 4-2 in what was a milestone win for manager Terry Francona. This win gets him to 2,000 wins for his career. Francona becomes the 13th manager to 2K wins. The Guardians edged out the Chicago White Sox in a 6-5 win that took 10 innings. The go-ahead run came from the bat of Stephen Kwan, who had a sacrifice fly in the top of the 10th, plating the eventual game-winning run. They're now both off with the All-Star Week festivities beginning tonight in Atlanta with the Home Run Derby. And in the men's Wimbledon final yesterday, Jannik Sinner claims his first Wimbledon title, beating Carlos Alcaraz in 4 sets. This one's brought to you by Germain Toyota, the best selection of new and used cars in Central Ohio. View their full selection of vehicles online at germaintoyota.net. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan.
Producers, co-hosts, friends, some of those things are true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are on a Monday edition. Bo, Tim May, Jacob Reimer in here on the program. Let's blitz the weekend, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present a Weekend Sports Blitz.
All right, I believe I had that. Jake, what'd you have?
So I believe that I had experienced college guards shining in the NBA Summer League. Not a lot of NBA GMs want to take a chance on them coming out of college, but Ryan Nembhard has looked great out of Gonzaga for Dallas and just looking like another undeserving gift for Nico Harrison. And Walter Clayton Jr., fresh off the national championship, he's looking very comfortable with the Utah Jazz.
Tim, what'd you have?
I had Rory McIlroy not winning the Scottish Open. We'll see what he does this week on the sunny shores of Northern Ireland. Of Ireland. But yeah, I had losing to a guy named Goddard. You know what I mean? Yeah. We all know, but some people don't know. But you lost the Scottish Open to a guy named Goddard. So there you got to live with that, Rory. And we'll see how you do. I told you I left the U.S. Open a little bit unimpressed with Rory McIlroy and his demeanor. And we'll see if he gets his act together this week.
Yeah, he's so likable as a young player, and I just wonder if all of this stuff, it was so much on him.
Agreed.
Like the PGA put so much on him, and he was kind of like the Tiger was hurt, and there was no one to kind of shoulder it, and it was him constantly. And I just think it kind of broke him as a person a little bit. It's what it seems like to me.
Sounds like it.
And then by winning the Masters, he's like, fine, I don't need any of this anymore.
Right.
I've won the Grand Slam. I'm good.
Right.
So it's disappointing for sure.
Yeah.
I believe I had that Maryland crab is in nowhere in the vicinity of Alaskan king crab. I suppose that now you talk to people over there and they're going to tell you that there's some sort of charm in sitting there and breaking those things up with the Old Bay and the beer and the mess and all of it. I got to tell you, it's overrated. I think it's all overrated.
Amen.
I've been over there twice in the last 4 weeks, and I'm like, all right, this is their thing. I'm going to do it. And then I do it, and I'm like, this ain't it, man. Ain't it.
It's like cleaning a quail and eating it and cleaning a chicken and eating it. You know what I mean?
In real time. Like there's little shards.
Give me the meat. Give me the meat, man.
God almighty.
Yeah. Isn't this fun? No. I got swallowed a piece of it. Yeah.
I've been here for 3 hours. I'm eating shell. What are we doing? And Old Bay's fine, but it's not some revolutionary flavor.
No.
I did not have that. What did you not have, Jake?
I did not have that the NCAA tournament would not be expanded. They went into last week, and it sounded like it was going to get expanded to 76 teams or so, and they could not come to a decision. I'm very happy about it, but I thought for sure it was getting expanded last week.
Do you know why it wasn't?
They kept going back and forth and couldn't come to the decision, I guess.
I tell you why it was. Because right now they couldn't get a number that made it worthwhile.
Yep.
Yeah.
When
exactly.
they get a number from TV that makes it worthwhile, then you're going to be playing 98 teams.
Because believe me,
adding
6 or 8 more games is no big deal. You know what I mean?
Not
in that regard.
No way.
When you start with 68 teams to begin with. So anyway.
All right. Did not have that. What did you not have?
I did not have. This goes back to the middle of last week, but it's gotten juicier as the time went on. I did not have Christian Horner getting sacked after 20 years of leading Red Bull from the wilderness into just basically the most dominant team over the last 20 years or definitely over the last 15 years in Formula One. I did not have him getting sacked, but that team is coming together, is falling apart every second, something new. And now you hear the rumors that Toto Wolff, I don't know if everybody's seen F1 or not yet, but it's a hell of a movie. There's some things you take license with, that's okay, but Toto Wolff maybe being very much involved with perhaps getting Max Verstappen to come to Mercedes as early as next season. That would be unbelievable move in F1. But going back, Christian Horner losing his job after 20 years is unbelievable as the team principal.
So this will piggyback off of that. My oldest is into F1 now, so we went to the F1 movie last week. All right, so we went and saw it. 2 tickets, 1 popcorn, 2 pops, $54.50.
Dude, do you take him to Guardians games? I mean,
$54.50.
Do you take him to Browns games?
Holy cow!
Yeah,
$54.50.
That's crazy.
For a movie. It was a matinee, by the way. It was 3:00. It was 3:00.
My wife and I went to see it, and we both get the senior discount, and it was still $24. You know
what is going on here?
You got to go to the movie. You got to go to the movies more than once every 8 months. The way I figure it out, because times they are changing.
They are. Player who impressed, Jake. Who do you got?
That would be Yannick Sinner winning his first Wimbledon title over Carlos Alcaraz, just to come back from what happened a month prior after having that collapse to Alcaraz in the French Open, and then comes back and wins this, not leaving any doubt. Lost the first set, but then just had total control the rest of the way.
I got Neil Shipley winning his second Korn Ferry Tour event, and with a great comeback. I think it was yesterday. He was 7 or 8 down going into the final round, and he ends up. I mean, there you go, man. I know he was severely disappointed by missing, not making the U.S. Open field, in qualifying, and because that's basically his home course for the most part. But Oakmont. But seeing him come on, man, I like a lot of things about him. He's got a great personality, and he's obviously got some game.
Player who impressed for me, LeBron James. Why, you ask? Because somehow, having played 23 NBA seasons, and at age 41, over the last couple of weeks, he has made us believe that somehow the Lakers slighted him for not offering him a second year of $52 million a year. Wow. He is 41.
Wow.
And we're like, what did you want him to do? Like, at some point, they're not going to pay you $50-some million to be the 6th seed. Like, come on, man. And he's up in Cleveland playing golf up there and all this stuff. And it's just like, man, he's still playing this trick, and it's still working 20-some years into this thing. It's just a remarkable thing.
That's what's amazing when people back in the occasion criticize major college head football coaches and how much money they're making.
Yeah.
There are people riding the bench in the NBA making much more than Ryan Day is making. You understand what I'm saying? Sure. I mean, and who's contributing more to the cause? It's pretty crazy. I know you can't. It's apples and oranges.
12 players versus. It's just hard. Yeah, it's just too much. Yeah, that's the way it goes.
And they told Luka that they were selling the team, not LeBron. They didn't include him on any of that, which rightfully so. Luka is who you're building around.
That's who I would tell.
Who, by the way, he hasn't signed his extension yet. That's the one they got to worry about. Player who disappointed, Jake. Who you got?
I got Colin Morikawa at the Scottish Open. He missed the cut, and it's just been a weird year for him. Going through caddies, another bad week for him over there, and it's kind of shocking because he's won an Open championship. He plays good golf over there, but he's just in his head right now trying to go through his caddies.
Yeah, I literally wrote down the exact same name because I'm just been.
Did you really?
Yes, I did, because it's fascinating. Because you know how much I like golf. I mean, that doesn't mean I'm any good at it, but I really like golf, and it's just fascinating to see these guys, man. The balls that are up in the air in their heads, sometimes they just can't get it all aligned. But then when you go to a big time major like I've been privileged to the last several years, the U.S. Open, you just see what a fine line it is, man, between winning and not quite winning, and when you lose that little bit of a mental edge, it just. It catches up with you. As John Cooper said, it don't catch up with you until it catches up with you. And which, you can look at it all kinds of different ways, but he's right about golf, man. Just that one little thing is missing, and you're thinking hiring a new guy to carry your bag makes that big a difference. It's more what's going on in that little man in your head.
Yeah, for sure. I haven't had a chance I haven't been on since it became official with Durant to Houston. So player disappointed is Durant. Not this Houston move, but just the idea of the choices that he has made in his career.
Yeah.
Because he is the best single scorer I've ever seen play. I just, and that goes to Jordan, everybody. A 6'11" guy who can shoot like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just made these odd choices, and he's going to have kind of this very strange career when you look back at it, playing for a bunch of teams, playing on maybe the best team I've ever seen, that Warriors team that won it.
Yeah.
And just kind of this odd career and now he's like just kind of bouncing around in Houston, and who knows what comes of it. That's a very good team, but it's just a weird choices for him in his career.
Yeah, and like you touched on that Warriors team, he was just one of the guys. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's it's he's something's missed, but I guess that happens. Some guys are touched and some guys aren't.
He's completed the rainbow jersey now. Going to the Rockets, he's got all colors of the rainbow. He's worn that.
You're right. He's got them all.
Yep.
Bud Kilmer, honorary coach of the week. Who do you got, Jake?
So it's going to be coaches, because Matt Norlander tweeted out the other day that he spoke with a bunch of coaches in college basketball. He's of CBS, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That they are most coaches want to keep that 68. Some like 72. Most think that the 76 is overkill, which I completely agree. Yeah. But just to a bunch of high-level coaches in college basketball that feel that way, I feel like they should be consulted anyways, but let's keep that thing at 68.
Go to 60. Go back to 64 for all I'm.
64.
Heck yeah.
64 is the perfect number.
48.
Yeah.
I remember 48. You play in games at 48. It was crazy. Indiana would get the bye. But I've got Stephanie White, who's now been brought back to be the head coach, I think, of the Indiana Fever and stuff. But what she's dealing with, from the standpoint of Caitlin Clark is in somewhat of a slump right now, but. She's been hurt. She should be in a slump. She's been beat up, Yeah. But let's don't get going on that, man, because I just don't understand what's gone on in the WNBA in regards to Caitlin Clark. But we'll see if she can right the ship with the Fever.
Yeah, I
think the only prescription is more cowbell.
More cowbell certainly works. Yeah, to me that feels like when Tiger first got on the PGA Tour.
Yeah,
and everyone was kind of really rude to him, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, we're."
Well, you can be rude, but when you're punching and taking people
punch
out
somebody on the golf course,
Tiger always spoke.
They would have.
Yeah, Tiger always spoke with his clubs. Then so
he did. I'm gonna go Joseph Kosinski on this. He is the director of the F1 movie.
Yeah.
He also directed Top Gun Maverick.
Yes.
Top Gun Maverick is the most fun I've had at a movie theater, maybe in my life. Quite honestly, was seeing that. The F1 movie is great.
I told
Now, NBC was like in my ear going, that's not accurate. They'd never do that or whatever.
Right.
But at the same time, it was a hell of a show. It's a thrill ride. I didn't really understand the end, the way they kind of did that. But at the same time, like it was, and maybe it was a touch too long at 2 hours, 30 minutes.
I liked it.
But I thought from an action standpoint, he's now the best in the business. What he did with the jets in Top Gun, and those were Formula 2 cars, what he did in the F1 movie was stunning. I just thought it was an awesome watch.
I
really
agree.
Fun.
I agree in all kinds of ways. They took some liberties, as I said, and there's some things happen in that movie where you'd get thrown out and never be back in F1. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I thought just gripping it and giving you a sense of what those cars are all about, I thought was pretty cool. And
it was awesome.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. And the only thing missing from that whole movie was, and it was a perfect spot for it, and they didn't use it, was I have the need for speed. Do you agree? You know what I'm saying?
That's all that was missing. It was
That's
right
right.
there. It was right there.
But it's cool, man. The Top Gun model works in the Tim May household.
It does. Yeah, you go fast in a machine, and I'm for it. And both of those movies did it, and he did a great job directing both of them. Connor Stallion speaking again. When will he ever stop? We'll tell you what he had to say coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because we know in making the most of your home, DIY doesn't just stand for do it yourself. It also means dream it yourself. And we're here to help protect the dreams you're building. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
At United Dairy Farmers, peach is our most popular ice cream. And once you taste it, you'll know why. Right now, get 2 48-ounce cartons of UDF peach ice cream for $10. It's only here for a short time. UDF peach ice cream, made for you.
1-800-GOT-JUNK does 2 things differently.
We repurpose a lot of the junk we haul away.
So the donatables get donated to a family that needs them, and the recyclables get recycled.
Your neighbors are happy, and the planet is healthy.
What's number 2?
We have enough trucks that we can come the day you call us.
1-800-GOT-JUNK is the world's largest junk removal service.
And that's good for your neighbors, and for the planet.
And for you, because we can come the day you call us.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Don't sweat it. Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your air conditioner fast. 1-800-COOLING.
Imagine what it would feel like getting tackled head-on by a 240-pound linebacker. You'd be in serious pain, right? But if you're unbuckled in a car crash, at just 50 miles an hour, you become a deadly projectile that can slam into other passengers with 8 times that amount of force. Don't let someone else take the hit. Buckle up and visit buckleup.ohio.gov to learn more. Brought to you by ODOT and ODPS.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle in Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save.
Common Man and Timmy.
French fry? No fries.
No onion ring?
Nope, no onion ring. It's just a small little...
That's what I think of that.
What the hell?
Common Man and Timmy Afternoons on the Fan is sponsored by Hinderer Motorsports.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Have you experienced foot or ankle pain during or after sports, running, or exercising at the gym? Nagging aches in your foot or ankle that won't go away? Podiatric physicians can provide you with important foot care solutions, shoe inserts, or show you how to support your feet and ankles so you're able to compete or exercise comfortably. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Chances of showers and thunderstorms today will be a lot more spread out than this morning. Otherwise, expect skies to be mostly to partly cloudy with our afternoon highs in the upper 80s. For tonight, mostly clear skies overnight, lows down right around 70. And then for tomorrow, we'll see chances of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, more isolated in nature. Otherwise, skies will be mostly sunny with our highs near 90. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Here's a quick 10-second reminder that the Buckeyes have won the Natty. Also, we air all the games, and we always will. Thank you. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
When do you think, Tim, that we will ever get restitution or resolution on the Michigan sign stealing? The reason I asked that question is he's back in the headlines yesterday because he's on social.
Right.
He's tweeting Brett McMurphy and On3 about some of the more recent allegations, and this is essentially what he says, the continuous attempt to correlate signals to any wins and losses at Michigan is funny. There were 7 games in my time at Michigan where I knew almost every signal the whole game. 2021 Michigan State, 22 Michigan State, 22 Penn State, 22 Ohio State, 22 TCU, 2021 Georgia, 2021 Wisconsin. We lost 3 of those games because we didn't tackle well, and Georgia was historically good. We won the 4 other games because we dominated the line of scrimmage and tackled well. Blocking, ball security, tackling, run fits, coverage tools. That's football. It's not rocket science. He continues to talk. It's funny, like, there were 7 games, by the way, where he knew every signal. Like, this guy lies so much. Where does it stop?
Right. Well, what do you believe? It's just his truth. It's just nonsense. It's just over and over and over again. And the thing that's frustrating for me, and I think it's frustrating for a lot of Ohio State fans, is like how long this has taken to get the pound of flesh on this. And I don't even know what that's going to be when you finally get it. I really don't. I don't know what is going to make this satisfactory. I've given my examples here on the show through the years about what I think would hurt them the most, and I think it has to be that punitive. But I don't know if the NCAA has the teeth to go that hard. So in the meantime, we're left with this guy responding to this over and over again that happened a couple of years ago, and I don't know if he's ever going to really get got for this, or if they are. I think at the end of the day, kind of reminds me of the old show Perry Mason and any other trial drama kind of show. You finally want to, at the end of the day, browbeat the guy. A few good men. You're damn right I did. Jack Nicholson, did you order the code red?
Sure.
You just want the guy to finally stand up and go, hey, we cheated. Yes, right. You're exactly right. And not just him. There's no way this went on without Jim Harbaugh being aware of it in all kinds of ways. And I know we've talked about that ad nauseum. When you've got a guy standing next to your offensive coordinator and then your defensive coordinator during games, and you don't notice it, yet you notice JT Barrett was this short, on a keeper. You know what I mean? Give me a break. So I think. You never get to replay games. That's not going to happen. Taking championships away, just like with the TAT 5, back in 2010, they still let them play in the bowl game. What are we talking about? We're talking about more than anything money and revenue and keeping things going. But the bottom line is you just want somebody to finally just stand up and go, hey, we cheated. Sorry about that, but if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, some kind of NASCAR thing. If it ain't rubbing, it ain't racing. Rubbing is racing. So you just wanted to admit, and then on top of that, the extent he went to make it happen. I mean, buying really great tickets for his friends or his family, whomever. Because he just loves college football so much, he wanted them to have a great time.
That documentary was unbelievable.
Oh. And then that snotty little lawyer he had with him, talking about Ohio State, at the end, throwing those it's a classic example of modern culture with a lot of young people it's everybody else's fault, not mine. When you get caught in something. And it's my mom's fault or it was my coach's fault back in the 3rd grade, just admit you did it. But not just him admit it.
Yeah, the problem is the guy who is over all of it is coaching the L.A. Chargers, and they hit him with a show cause. Well, he's not coaching college football ever again anyway. So there's no way that you can get him.
But that's all they got going. That's all.
I know. I always say, like, Harbaugh's Danny Ocean. He robbed all 3 of them, and he got away with it. Like, there's no way to ever get him. So all you can kind of do is get the program left. And most times when you talk to Buckeye fans about it, what they want is they want Michigan ruined.
Right.
But the problem with that is Tony Petitti does not want Michigan ruined. At all.
No.
Fox, the network, does not want Michigan ruined at all because they're their number 2 biggest brand.
Right.
And they need them to be in the mix. So
I'm not sure this rises to
ruin it.
I'm not sure this rises to the level of ruining something. You know what I mean? I mean, this was just blatant cheating, breaking a rule.
But I mean, in terms of what's the punishment that hits the sweet spot?
A big black mark on your report card. You know, I mean, a big black mark. Okay, you know, you can claim this and this because what are we going to do? Go back and replay every game without y'all having prior knowledge?
Right, yeah.
The thing that bugged me the most was, well, you should be changing your signals from one game to the next. Do you know how difficult it is, number one, to change signals? Number two, every team goes into every game trying to figure out what the other team is signaling in. That is basic football. But you went above and beyond and actually did advanced scout cheating. That's you know, it's right there, and you know it was wrong because you basically denying the impact of it now. But if it didn't give you an advantage, why did you do it?
Yeah, exactly on all fronts. To me, if you hit them, I do think you could fine them massively. And I do think it would hurt.
I agree.
Because I think that folks don't understand. I think it's hard for the average fan to understand the way that these athletic departments historically have been run and how they're going to have to be run going forward. It's a dramatic difference. And they aren't just free-flowing with money forever. Nope. A lot of these are in the red, and some of that's by design. But they are going to have to find ways to manufacture money. So I do think if you hit them with a big fine, the athletic department, with a big fine, that would be punitive. I also think if you gave him a 1-year postseason ban, that could potentially be devastating because then you would have, with free transfer and the portal, you could have a mass exodus at Michigan. So I think those two things would really hurt them. I just am dubious to think that the Big Ten will stand by and allow for it.
It's just amazing.
I just don't think that it does not behoove the Big Ten to have Michigan fall off a cliff. It doesn't.
Right. And here's the thing. I mean, when he poo-pooed the idea that TCU, benefited from having knowledge of the fact that Michigan was cheating, that's ludicrous. I mean, of course, they benefited from being able to change they had time to change things and do this stuff, and it's just main thing is smarmy. You know, it doesn't. I don't understand anybody associated with that university defending in any way once you got caught, defending it in any way. And and that's what really bothers you. It's not. And I hate to take the onus off of Connor Stallions, but it's not that they did it. It's the way you acted like it wasn't that big of a deal, Absolutely. If in fact it even happened, right?
That's right. The guys I feel sick for are that CJ Stroud team in 2022.
Yeah, absolutely.
Michigan in 2023 had a hell of a team.
Yes.
They really did.
Yes.
And the NFL proved that out, and it was probably their time. But 2022, that one sucks.
Yeah. And here's the thing, other thing, real quick before you go. Obviously, Jim Harbaugh's in the NFL now. You remember Jim Trussell, because of the Tat Gate, or you were kidding, the Tat Gate, remember he was denied
NFL show cause.
Exactly. I mean, what are we talking about? You talk about hypocrisy or looking at things in two different ways. I mean, that's on the NFL. In the way I'm looking at it, and I really believe when the Browns had a chance to hire Jim Trussell as a possible head coach way back in that same realm, it'd be funny how much that might have factored into it or not. But imagine, there are some guys that are meant to be big-time head coaches, and he was one of them, man.
Speaking of him, I love the fact that he's bringing back the physical fitness stuff.
Oh yeah,
as the lieutenant governor, I saw that over the weekend. That's really
agreed.
Cool to see. So it is a little jarring when you cross from Pennsylvania into Ohio, and it says, Governor Mike DeWine, Lieutenant Governor Jim Trussell, welcome you. I'm going, wait, oh yeah, that's right.
former Ohio State national championship head coach,
and Youngstown, don't forget.
Oh yeah, he could have all these things underneath his name, right?
Wait, what?
I mean, think about it. If he runs for governor and wins that, man, you talk about wow.
The only other
career,
thing, like Tom Osborne.
Yeah,
I mean he did that. He was senator. I mean that's kind of it. So,
yeah.
We'll have some fun with Austin Ward in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends, right here on the Fan.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
Hey, it's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place.
One of my favorite things, Wilson, is the look on people's faces when they see the end price for Pella windows.
Yeah, I'm always hearing, does it look like I'm wearing my money britches?
More like, I can't believe we get the Pella look and quality at these prices.
Oh, you went the other way with that. You're hearing good things. Oh, this is awkward.
Get the window that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius. Or two half geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Beth, you're in charge of ordering the tacos for the meeting today, yeah?
I'm not going to order the tacos.
What?
I'm going to Easy Cater the tacos. With Easy Cater, you can order from a huge variety of restaurants, track expenses, and save time.
Nice.
Oh, by the way, you're emailing the meeting notes, right?
No, I'm going to easy mail them. Where's my music?
Sorry, Ben. There's no Easy Cater for that.
Easy Cater, the easy way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
He knows everything about the Buckeyes. He's been offered tens of dollars by a certain team to spill his secrets. He's told that certain team to go to hell.
Damn you all to hell!
He's Austin Ward.
Indeed he is, and he joins on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. I'm not sure where your head is with this, but this is the time of year where I don't want to speed things along. I enjoy my summer. I'm for it, but at the same time, you start to get the itch, buddy. And I don't know if it's because the video game dropped and my kids are playing it all the time, and it looks like the most fun you could ever have, or what it is. Media days, SEC this week. You do start to. It's going to be here before you know it. I get it. I enjoy my summer, but this time of year, I always get a little bit of an itch for it to come back. Where are you on that?
Yeah, I'm going to sound like a little bit of a hypocrite at this very moment, Bo, because I'm out here at the Ronald McDonald House charity outing right now. Playing with Nicole and the Roosters group, and nice. Eric, he just has to drive for me. But I'm feeling it this year maybe more than ever, where it's like, because you and I have spent how many Mondays, bro, talking about collective bargaining, talking about transfer portal, talking about NIL. This offseason has felt, and the House settlement changed so much for July 1 and the build-up to that. It's like, I want to talk about football more than anything else. I tried to do a show last week with Burnham where it's like, let's say these three topics we never bring up again. And it was those sorts of things. Like, I want to break down depth charts. I want to talk about position battles. I want to talk about Ohio State's quarterbacks. Like, that's the time for that. And, at this time next week, I'll be on a plane to Las Vegas, and we're going to get that opportunity to just talk about ball. So, a lot of years you get to this point, and I agree with you that itch comes, but it's like once football starts for us, July 31st, so there are no days off coming. No. So now that's the blessing of doing this job. Is like that's really fun, and that's the time of year that we live for. But I guess this week I'm going to make the most of it while also trying to balance that with, all right, the real nonsense of this particular off season is over.
Yeah, what's funny, Austin, is as everybody knows who's listened to me, I've been covering Ohio State since 1984. And to me, this season right now reminds me of a few seasons, but it reminds me a lot of 95 when they had – I'm not talking about 95, but 95 they had all those superstars, and they all went to the National Football League draft, and all of a sudden they came back in 96. How good's Ohio State going to be? Well, except for what happened in the second half against Michigan, it was probably the best team in the country. Didn't get to play, obviously, for a national championship, but but obviously did beat Arizona State in the Rose Bowl. But this kind of has the same feel because you know what? They were chock full of talent in '96, just talent that a lot of people didn't know about, right? And this feels the same, very similar. Not exactly the same, but very similar. There's no Orlando Pace on this team. but I don't know if you agree, but I agree with what Ryan Day's been saying. This is going to be a talented football team.
No, I think it is. And I think part of it, Tim, where there just seems to be this perception where It's been annoying me, I guess, I have to put it that way, that Texas has everything coming back and they're a proven commodity, and Ohio State is the one that has to replace all this talent with uncertainty. And I'm really kind of sick of that narrative.
Me too.
But I get it that if you're covering Ohio State nationally, you look at the number of draft picks that they lost, and you don't have to pay as close of attention to this roster if you are Paul Feinbaum or anybody else. But we know in Columbus how talented it's going to be, and I think that's why it's irritating the way they're being treated in terms of the rankings and the conversation and all of that stuff, but also exciting to get to July 31st, where for as much as we've talked about Arvell Reese's offseason and how he looks physically, he still got to go be a starter for the first time. As much as we've talked about, Max Clare arriving on this team and what it could look like at tight end, he's never played a game at Ohio State. We can go down the list.
Right.
Austin Sarabeld, you and I, Tim, have been talking about him and how great that spring was, and he's going to maybe be the right tackle. Well, he's never started there either. So there's a lot of reason for optimism without it necessarily being as proven a bunch of commodities as it was last year. So that part is exciting. I think it should be for Ohio State fans, especially if you're still enjoying the glow of the national championship. Now you get to go chase it in a very different way. And it has to me, if we're comparing it to other teams, it's like the complete opposite of coming off of the 2014 title, where all those guys were back and there was some complacency creeping in maybe. That doesn't exist for this team.
I think, it's more like 14 if you wanted anything, right? I mean, it feels like it's, the talent is all there. It's just unproven. The thing about it, though, that's so crazy and I heard your answer there, buddy, in terms of the rankings and stuff, like they're going to be no worse than third to start the year. They're not 13th. But I know there isn't anybody on the planet who doesn't think they're a playoff team. And I think probably the reason, if any, that some people, and by the way, like if you pick Texas, I mean, it's going to be a coin flip game. I mean, it's going to be Buckeyes by 2.5 or Texas by 2.5. So it'll be in that realm. It'll be a pick 'em. And from that standpoint, it's like, I think the only reason it is because Arch has 3 starts and Julian doesn't have any. But if Julian started 3 games last year and Arch didn't start any, I think it'd be Ohio State would be the favorite, and most people would be picking them. Because Texas has just as many to replace as Ohio State does.
Well, Bo, you know that I can get irritable in a hurry, so I think that it's a silly thing for me to dwell on, but it's just like that's become this topic of conversation, and I expect it's going to come up a lot more at SEC Media Days this week. And I just feel like it is dishonest to treat it as anything other than the same situation, and going to be a really competitive game that everyone should be excited for. And maybe that level of excitement is why there is so much matchup previewing going on right now that's a little bit premature in my mind. And you make a great point. I think if you look at Arch in particular, Berm made this point on the podcast. It's like he threw out a stat line against Mississippi State, and it was Toledo's starting quarterback. It wasn't Arch Manning. So that was a very beatable opponent. And look, he may well be a first-round draft pick at this time next year. I don't know, but I wouldn't. You look at the Texas trying to replace 4 offensive linemen, and I'm sorry I derailed the segment by talking about this matchup. But
that's good.
I can't get Feinbaum's takes off of my brain, and I guess that was the whole point. But Arch has to go play in the horseshoe against a Matt Patricia defense that's loaded with talent at all 3 levels, has Caleb Downs back to anchor at Sonny Styles in the middle. And if we have questions about the defensive line, which we've been talking about for months, Texas has to replace 4 starters on the offensive line for a first-time true starting quarterback in the horseshoes. Tell me that is not as pressing a concern as Ohio State bringing in 2 senior defensive ends in Caden Curry and Kenyatta Jackson and having a 5-star in Edric Houston, defensive tackle. I would rather be in Ohio State's shoes if it were me. And that's just me, and I'm just one man.
But you worked real quick though, just so the audience understands. You worked at ESPN. You know this. It's the middle of summer. There's nothing NFL. You're on those shows like First Take and all of that, and they're like, "Boy, we need something to talk about." And they go to all of their guys who are their opinion makers. They go to Paul and they go, "Paul, what do you got?" And he goes, "Well, the Manning kid's at Texas." Oh, there's a Manning? Sold. Yeah. Say anything about him, and we can do a half hour on it. I mean, if his name wasn't Manning, I don't think it would be this way. I just think it's just this one specific thing. If you flip the quarterbacks, I think they'd be talking that way about Ohio State. I just think it's the Manning part of it is known to the people who aren't in this every single day. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah.
maybe with Lathan Ransom gone, maybe they think Manny's going to last more than one play when they play Ohio State this time. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just, to me, we all have things we like to talk about during the offseason, but what Austin's talking about, I agree. It's like there's a nitpicking going on when it comes to Ohio State, and then you're talking about Texas like it's got the greatest quarterback who ever played and the greatest head coach in Sarkisian, who hasn't won a national championship, and Ryan Day has now, and right on down the line. But you're right, a lot of it is driven by Feinbaum of the world throwing gasoline on the fire, and that's okay.
Content.
That's okay.
They need content.
Exactly.
And so they can lean on it. It's easy.
We all understand it. Hey, I want to ask you this real quick, Austin. What is that position? We've talked about this before. We might as well rehash it again. What is that position you're going to have your eye on July 31 through the month of August? That really has to come through. And I'm not talking about depth on the defensive line. We understand defensive tackle is going to be a depth problem, but we'll see how that goes. But what's that one position you've got your eye on other than starting quarterback also? I'm trying to pin you down. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that you removed that from the conversation.
There you
go. Like I said, I'm a very simple man, so I would have said I want to see Julian Saint and Lincoln Keenholz because there's also been this notion of, the quarterback battle is not legitimate, and it absolutely is.
Absolutely.
But I think if you go out there, and this is like getting deeper into the weeds, which is where we live when we're talking about the Buckeyes, and that's I want to know who is actually going to play nickel, and we're not going to find that out on July 31st. But there are 5 different options and a bunch of different permutations of what Ohio State's defense can look like, and when we talk about what's a Matt Patricia scheme look like, I think it's going to look different on every single week, and that may involve different guys playing nickel and different, maybe 3 linebacker looks that we haven't seen for a while. But when you get down to, all right, this is a 4-2-5 situation, and you are picking a depth chart and establishing it, the one that you count on most, is that going to be Lorenzo Styles? Is what we saw with a 50-50 split coming out of spring camp, essentially? Again, reading too much into 5 practices, caveat applies as normal. Yeah. Jermaine Matthews sliding in there and playing nickel, and Aaron Scott playing on the perimeter as an outside starting corner. Is that something that we can see? Is Bryce West pushing for action there in a way that maybe we didn't envision in March or April? This goes part and parcel with something that, I really believe Jordan Hancock is the most difficult player to replace on this team.
Agreed.
And that's hyperbole because they lost a starting quarterback. They lost their entire defensive line. It was the versatility of Jordan Hancock that I think unlocked a lot of what Ohio State did defensively, and that's why I'll be looking to see how that translates going into August.
Hit him straight, buddy.
I'll try.
He's left-handed.
In for me right now. I'd rather talk to you guys.
He's left-handed. It's hard for him to do that.
That's right.
Looks good when he does, though. All right, buddy. Good stuff. Talk to you soon.
See you guys.
There he goes, Austin Ward. The Beat with Austin and Berm and dotting the I's on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. We do Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
When you speed, you have less time to react. Follow the speed limit to keep other road users safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
When you're ready to sell your car, another reason to choose Hinderer Motor Company is the easy, fast, fair, and hassle-free way to sell. This is Justin Hinderer. We pay top dollar for your vehicle, whatever the make or model, and no purchase is necessary. Consider trading and get even more toward your next vehicle. Drive in today and leave with cash or get a great deal. See why it's a pleasure doing business. Just visit HindererMotorCompany.com.
Skyline Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
We could tell you what makes Giant Eagle special, but we think our customers say it best.
I love the fresh produce. I love the fresh meat.
I'm pretty sure the fish guy knows me by now. We're buds.
I love to grill. That alone keeps me coming back.
The people that work here are so nice and so helpful.
Everybody loves the cakes from Giant Eagle.
On every shelf, in every department, we're always going for better because being your Giant Eagle matters.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota of Columbus. Summer is the perfect time to gear up in a new truck from Germain Toyota of Columbus. Right now, drive home the 2025 Toyota Tundra with 1.99 APR for 72 months, or take command of the 2024 Toyota Tacoma, also just 1.99 APR for 72 months. Get power, performance, and unbeatable savings, all at Germain Toyota, located at 5711 Scarborough Boulevard on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road. Shop online anytime at germaintoyota.net.
T-Bone and Tyvis.
Could you imagine being a college kid and getting a Venmo for $1 million? I'd shed tears. I'd cry.
T-Bone and Tyvis Mornings on the Fan is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Hey, is that knee, shoulder, hip, that pain in any of your joints not getting better? You're stuck in this cycle where you keep going back to the doctor. They recommend steroid shots. Maybe they recommend surgery, rehab, and all of those things are not working for you. Before you go down the road of the surgery, you'll want to listen to this. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. I want to tell you something that helped me a ton, and it'll help a lot of other people get their lives back as well. And this is no more meds and not going under the knife. I'm talking about my friends at QC Kinetics, Real Regenerative Medicine. They help your body heal itself. After years of playing professional football, I was beat up. My dad was beat up. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to have any more surgery. So I went to my friends at QC Kinetics, and they took a look at it, and they said, hey, we can help you with your knee. It's not going to be an overnight fix, but they've got protocols and procedures to help get you well without going under the knife. So here's what you do. Call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. They have offices all over Columbus.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Monday. Get it, Jake.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All right, so we have more to the Hugh Freeze golf saga as Auburn's head coach responded to all the comments being made about his golf game. Just to reiterate, it was first reported by AL.com that Freeze logged 10 rounds of golf just in the month of June, also showing he's recorded more than 20 rounds throughout the calendar year. He went on David Pollock's See Ball, Get Ball podcast last week, and he said in response to his golf, you know, everybody seems to like to talk about my golf game. I do love golf. I enjoy playing, but what people don't realize is I assure you that I never missed a camp day or a recruiting day. But if camp got over at 3 o'clock one day and Joe and I go out at 4:30, we absolutely might do that. And I'm not apologizing for that part of it either. Lord. But my focus is 100% on getting Auburn in that win column this fall. Thing or not a thing.
This is why I love college football. I mean, this is Alabama.com. This is the old Birmingham newspaper, right, Tim? I'm pretty sure. It's they're reporting.
It's a conglomeration of a bunch of the papers down there.
Yeah, but and so 10 rounds of golf in a month of June. So I am old enough to remember that when the college football for a head coach, and you're older than me, so you know this too, that when spring football was over, they were pretty much off until fall camp. They'd run a couple of youth camps in the summer, but it wasn't like it is now, where the camps are like scouting combines. It wasn't like that at all.
No portal.
There was no portal. There was none of that. And Bobby Bowden, there was the Nike. It was the Nike these Nike vacations that they do through Nike and go play golf at these exotic locations.
Yeah.
And Spurrier, like I remember Bowden's thing was always, couldn't understand why Spurrier was always kind of a punk to him.
Yeah.
In the media during the season, they were like best friends in the summer.
Yeah.
But that's what it used to be. So, look, I'm no Hugh Freeze guy. I think it's comical that they're tracking the amount of golf, but at the same time, like, you can't play a little golf. Like, there's plenty of time to be able to do it.
And here's the thing: one of my favorite cousins, Doug Mathis. I remember when his mom introduced her fiance Perry Mathis to us back in 1962, and he just graduated from Auburn, and we booed. Because my grandma and grandpa's house was like 6 blocks from Bryant-Denny Stadium, but then it was just Denny Stadium. My point is, they really do care, and I guarantee you what the Auburn fans are parsing right now is when he says my intent is to get us in the win column. They're going, you mean just once? You know what I mean? I mean, there's all kinds of parsing, and it just shows you how much they overcare. Maybe is the best way of putting it about college football down there in the deep South, where winning is all about pride and bragging rights. So, but good for Hugh Freeze to get out there and hit that little white ball and go chase it.
Yeah, I respect the passion for golf. It's only a thing to me if he doesn't back up these comments and actually does some winning this year.
Yes, exactly. But now the onus is on him. See, you remember the old line about Barry Sanders, Barry Switzer at Oklahoma. All these other coaches played golf in the offseason. He got into oil well development, things like that, because his point was he wanted to make money.
Right, and he did.
Yes, he did. Well. Yeah.
All right, next up, former Penn State quarterback Bo Pribula said that his decision to enter the transfer portal before Nittany Lions' playoff run was encouraged by his family. His brother Cade and other close mentors reminded him that the transfer portal was only open for a limited time and that the process would go quickly. The plan after meeting with James Franklin was to be with the team through the playoff, but with the deadline approaching and because of a team rule, Pribula made the decision and left the team. He said, it was rough. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, making that decision and leaving the team before the playoffs. It was not something I wanted to do. It was just like horrible timing. I hope it's getting fixed. It was like free agency during the playoffs. Thing or not a thing?
That's a huge thing. I mean, this is why this is all just, this calendar is my number one beef with where the sport is right now, Tim.
Yes.
Because it forces decisions like the one that Pribula had to do. And I don't blame him. What choice did he have?
Right.
I mean, he kind of had to do it at that time. And so that could have had an incredible impact on Penn State had Drew Aller gotten dinged up, and he'd been dinged up during the season. So it just sucks. The calendar is completely broken, and this is just a kid who was in an impossible spot, but you have to be selfish in those matters, and so I don't blame him at all. And my guess is Penn State people don't blame him at all either, because it's just kind of a casualty of where we are in the sport right now with the calendar.
Yeah, I just don't understand why he had to leave the team, though. I mean, Devin Brown, obviously entered the portal for Ohio State, but he played throughout. Didn't play, but he was.
Well, you don't know what the team he's going to said. Maybe they said, "We'll take you, but you got to come now."
But pretty much you were a free agent to a certain extent before you made. He announced his choice a little bit later. But the bottom line is, it's screwed up that you have to make a decision like that in the middle of December when, in fact, the push is for there to be one transfer portal window, some form or fashion. We'll see if they actually get to that. I think they're basically headed that way, if not already there. But when do you have it? I mean, Joe Burrow left after spring ball. Mm-hmm. And ended up at LSU, had a mediocre year at LSU in 2018, and in 2019 when they changed offensive coordinators, with the Brady guy came in and stuff, he hit his stride and won the Heisman Trophy in 19, but 18 was kind of a lost year for him and LSU in that regard, but it set the stage for the next year. But the portal, to me, is, forget about NIL, the portal has been the most disruptive thing, if in fact you can call it disruptive, and that's hit major college sports forever, in my opinion.
I agree, and I do think I don't know where the right one is, but I would talk to folks like Mark Pantoni, and I would talk to people that are his contemporaries around the sport,
right?
And I would get those folks in a room and say, hey, what's the best way where we can have players have the exact same advantages coaches have, but also have a little bit of sanity with how this works.
Right.
Because right now it is. I don't even know I can't even imagine what December's like for a team in the playoff.
Yeah, the problem is you're so setting the stage for your team in spring drills, and they're so limited, only 15 days, and very little of it's real over-the-top football. You know, you just coaches hate to lose that window with players that they're going to be counting on in the fall, and yet coming out of spring, you want to know where you stand because there could be an opportunity elsewhere to go play. You know, like free agency in football, but free agency times 20 because it's open to anybody. So yeah, it's a real conundrum once that got introduced. But players should have that right to leave, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. They have. Yeah, I mean, they have to have the same rights as coaches do. 20 Most Interesting Programs continues. My Beloved Ponies coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Matty Ice has a large tattoo on his calf of LeBron eating a lion. I have nothing else to say. Rockman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
Lindsay Automotive is Central Ohio's big certified pre-owned outlet. LindsayCertified.com makes it easy to find the right car at the right price. All models include certified warranties and inspections, new car financing, and more.
Up to 1,000 pre-owned to choose from.
No matter what kind of vehicle you're looking for, Lindsay has it. Cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. You'll love the shopping experience, whether online or in person.
Shop LindsayCertified.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate you snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your significant other will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, it stops your snoring. That's the point. It's quick, it's comfortable, and it's an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea. And he's helped countless patients breathe easier, sleep better, and live healthier, more energized lives. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Schedule your appointment now with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. Once again, that's sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Mark your calendars for Diamond Seller's Wedding Weekend, July 25th and 26th. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Seller. Wedding Weekend is back with incredible offers you won't want to miss. Enjoy buy one, get one half off wedding bands, 20% off diamond anniversary bands, and 10% off handcrafted custom bridal. We've had the guaranteed best price and an unmatched selection for over 78 years. Choose a jeweler you can trust and come see us July 25th and 26th at Diamond Seller on Salma Road or at Easton Town Center.
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place. Leslie, what's that hot lamp against your window for?
Pella windows are tested up to 160 degrees Wilson to ensure efficiency and the lowest energy bills possible, even in the craziest of temperatures. Put your hand on there.
All right. God, that's hot.
On the window, Wilson.
Oh, hey, that is quite nice and cool. So I'm going to go grab some ice now.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rated #1 for innovation at PellaColumbus.com.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Beth, you're in charge of ordering the tacos for the meeting today, yeah?
I'm not going to order the tacos.
What?
I'm going to Easy Cater the tacos. With Easy Cater, you can order from a huge variety of restaurants, track expenses, and save time.
Nice.
Oh, by the way, you're emailing the meeting notes, right?
No, I'm going to easy mail them. Where's my music?
Sorry, Ben. There's no Easy Cater for that.
Easy Cater, the easy way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Jacob Reimer. The Cleveland Guardians edged out the White Sox in a 6-5 win that took 10 innings, taking the series over Chicago. The go-ahead run came from the bat of Stephen Kwan, who had a sacrifice fly in the top of the 10th, plating the eventual game-winning run. Cincinnati also took the series win over the Colorado Rockies with a 4-2 win yesterday, and what was a milestone win for manager Terry Francona. This win gets him to 2,000 wins for his career. Francona becomes the 13th manager to 2,000 wins. They're now both off with the All-Star Week festivities beginning tonight in Atlanta with the Home Run Derby. And some conference realignment news. Louisiana Tech plans to leave Conference USA for the Sun Belt, becoming the conference's 14th member. The entry date for Louisiana Tech is still uncertain. This one's sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy's office at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan.
The best hair on the air. You are listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour here on a Monday. It is time for 20 Most Interesting.
There are millions of college football teams around the world, but only a handful of them made our cut. Bishop and Friends present the 20 Most Interesting College Football Programs.
All right, this one's near and dear to my heart. Those who listen regularly know probably maybe not the best 30 for 30 that was ever done, but it's on a short list. But the one that's most enjoyable to me is Pony Excess. It is SMU in the 80s. Tim, you are in the vicinity of that, grew up in the vicinity of this in terms of this old Southwestern Conference and the way that that operation operated. And SMU fell... They in a sense were the one that was made an example of, and they were the most brazen in the fact that they were in Dallas, I think, added to it, and everybody kind of knows that history by now. But the thing I was always curious about, my friend, is why was SMU never involved in any conference expansion? And I would ask people down there, it feels like it would have everything that you'd want. It's in a major city. It's got big-time buco bucks when it comes to donors that's at their disposal. Why would they not be allowed into the SEC or even the Big 12 at one point? Why would the Big 12 not want SMU? And the answer that I would get back most of the time was nobody wanted to give them that power again.
Right.
And then they did. And then in year one of the ACC, when SMU said, you know what, we don't even need any of your television money, we're going to do it on our own, they went 11-2 in the regular season. They went 8-0 in the league, lost in the ACC title game in a close game to Clemson, and then lost in the first round at Penn State. In their first year in power conference football, they made the playoff.
Right.
And it kind of proved what all of us kind of thought, that if given the opportunity, they kind of have everything you need.
Yeah, they have everything you need, but then they went out and played. I mean, they played. You know, that was a really good football team at points last year, and just mistakes are what finally killed them. You know, and but you're exactly right. I mean, I grew up, first Alabama and then in East Texas and Lufkin, Texas, starting in 1965. But we had Royal Ambassadors. Was kind of the Boy Scouts of the Southern Baptist Church, you know, and we get to go to one Baylor game every year, and I distinctly it was usually either SMU or Rice, depending on how it played out. It had to be a home game, but I saw Jerry Levias get his collarbone broken in the north end zone there at Baylor's old stadium and things. But the point is, there was a kind of a panache about SMU, and then when Hayden Fry showed up there, he recruited Jerry Levias, African American player. There weren't any in the Southwest Conference. I mean, it was just like the SEC, except and then it went on from there. And then Hayden Fry was a revolutionary coach. We all know what he did at Iowa, but I mean, he threw the hell out of the ball. Came into Ohio Stadium one time with the team, and with that, I think Ford was the quarterback's name. And he just threw the hell out of it because that's what he did. And they were just always, there was a flash to SMU for a long time. I remember when I was growing up, and then they added some dash, which was, a little seasoning there, to help the flash, and it went from there. But I remember, I think it was Dave Smith was the head coach at one point, and admitted to players when they'd make good plays on special teams or something like that extraordinary, he'd give them like $5 or $10. Yeah, and then just threw it out there one time, and people are going, "What are you talking about?" And and even that was taboo. Like, "Oh no, you gave him $5."
Right, exactly.
And then of course it went to excess. But like you said, it's that old line. Kentucky's cheating. Let's penalize Cleveland State, right? I mean,
right.
Well, that was the SMU hierarchy. All the alumni who were involved in making sure SMU players had an interesting time as collegiate performers. They were claiming, the same thing was going on in Texas A&M, right on down the line, and but they got caught, and they got caught because of a very apropos name, Excess, SMU, the Pony Excess, and it all blew up. But then nobody wanted to touch them, man. It's 10-foot pole. You're not getting in our club again. After that, we're not letting you in our club again.
And they were probably right, because it wasn't them. There's one of the things that gets lost is people always talk about Eric Dickerson and the Trans Am. Well, they didn't give him the Trans Am. Texas A&M did.
Right.
He committed to A&M, and then what's A&M going to do? We want our Trans Am back.
Right.
It was A&M who gave him the Trans Am. So they've fought through all of this, and I think now in today's day and age, they can. It's funny because I suppose in a way that now the sport is a point where everything that they were doing is now above board. So they can do all of it now, and they got a coach in Rhett Lashley who's a really bright guy. They're 29-12 in his 4 seasons there. They've won the AAC in 2023. They're organized. Now all of a sudden they have this incredible NIL backing. Right. They have an alumni base that goes as deep money-wise as you want it to go. They're in the most glamorous city in the state of Texas. They can lean on that history a little bit. I mean, people forget last year Kevin Jennings ended up being the starting quarterback there, but that was not the intent. The intent was a kid named Preston Stone. He was the starter. He was the incumbent. He came back and didn't play well, and they lost early in the season. I forget who they lost to early in the year, and then they made the switch to Jennings. And then they took off with Jennings. They really took off and went undefeated in the ACC and before eventually losing to Clemson. And they just were not prepared for the Penn State game at all. And they don't have that. They didn't have that type of depth.
Yeah, I think cold
weather
hang
with those type of teams.
Yeah, and cold weather
too helped. Yeah,
cold weather affected them big time. Just
no doubt.
Yeah, but
no doubt. And it was brutal.
But you're exactly right. But they showed their moxie even in the loss to Clemson. I mean, they showed their moxie about being a team that doesn't quit, and plays hard and all that kind of. That's what gets me about them is they're not a flash in the pan in terms of they just got lucky. I mean, that team played hard if you watched them, and the few times I got to watch them, and that's what stands. That means you've got a pretty solid program going with Lashley. I mean, there's a fundamental there that you have to be a championship football team, and that is you're not going to quit, and you're going to bring it every Saturday. I know it's cliche, but that's what sets you apart, and that's what I like about them. And they've been pretty smart in the transfer portal also, but they haven't gotten those super big time. Matter of fact, I think that Stone kid, didn't he transfer? He transferred to Northwestern, I think. And
he is at Northwestern. You have that right.
And so that'll be interesting. But you got to stay healthy. That I look at SMU even this year, and I'm thinking they like with every team, but a lot of these teams that have kind of built a pretty good upper level of players, they don't necessarily have that depth like an Ohio State does, and so I think they still have to stay pretty healthy this year to make a similar run.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. So last year they recruited like in the top 30 in the country. This year so far they're like 17th in the country. So right now they're recruiting at a similar level. The teams around them are Florida, Florida State, Penn State, Washington, North Carolina, UCLA.
Right.
Those are like the teams around them.
Rubbing shoulders.
For a team that up until last year was playing in the group of 5 to just ascend, it's just there's no real precedent for it. To do that. No. To just kind of come out of nowhere. But they had all of the pieces in place. And now you look back at this, Tim, and I just go, what the hell was the Big 12 thinking?
Yeah.
Why? I get it. Like TCU and those teams didn't want them in. I get it.
Right.
But they would have been better off with them in that league.
Oh, absolutely.
Instead of playing in this ACC. And now the ACC can kind of lean on them a little bit. And they have Dallas now, which is a market that everybody wants to be involved with.
Bingo.
Now the ACC has Dallas, and it's like, geez.
Have you ever flown into like Dallas Love Field? I fly
one time.
I fly Southwest as often as possible because I maybe not starting next year after they make all their big changes, but you make this little circle route. It's like a half circle where you come in from the south going into Dallas Love Field, which means you come almost right over downtown Dallas. Yeah. But on a Friday night, you could turn off all the street lights in Dallas. And you know that Friday night lights, you know where I'm going. And the place would still be lit up by these tremendous football stadiums that you see along the way. There are so many football players within a 100-mile radius of SMU's campus, which is just north of downtown Dallas. And there's no excuse for them not to be pretty damn good. You know what I mean? I don't mean necessarily elite, but there's such high-quality football, high school football played down there, all these big-time schools and stuff, and they've tapped into that. But they've also gotten into the portal, and gotten guys. But that's what, there's no excuse for any of those schools in Texas to not be pretty good, based on that. And SMU has like I said, they've tapped into it, and they're taking advantage of it. And they have a nice product with Lashley running the show. Kind of reminds you when June Jones was there, just a lot of flash offensively and stuff, but never got it really done on a defensive side. I mean, SMU's pretty good on defense now too. So
they are.
I mean, they got one of the best safeties in the country. So
yes,
so we'll see if it carries through this year.
Here's the thing that's always been wild to me: the Big 12 took Cincinnati and West Virginia.
Yeah, right.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, that's how bitter those Texas schools were about SMU.
Yeah.
Like 40 years later, still so bitter.
You're even whispering even today, you're whispering about it. Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? Like, they're sitting right there.
Right.
This will make you better.
I don't really know the ends of that. I mean, I don't know, what really was. It had to be, though, back to, we still think you're Connor Stallion, so no, we're not going to touch you.
That's what I think it is. When I would talk to people, and Billy Embody will join us here at the bottom of the hour, and I've asked him about this years ago. Now we'll talk mostly about this team with him, but that seemed to be it. That like most people who were around it were like, you don't ever get to come into this club again.
Yeah.
You're never coming in again. And part of it was nobody wanted to awaken a sleeping giant.
Right.
Because they kind of have everything that you need.
Just think if they'd knocked off Penn State last year, figured out a way to beat Penn State and get into a warmer climate to play the next couple of rounds, play Notre Dame, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been interesting.
Would James Franklin still be employed?
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's all kinds of dominoes fall in one form or start to fall in college football based on 1 point here or there,
That's sliding doors right there, brother.
Yes.
We'll hit the categories on SMU coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate you snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your significant other will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, it stops your snoring. That's the point. It's quick, it's comfortable, and it's an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea. And he's helped countless patients breathe easier, sleep better, and live healthier, more energized lives. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Schedule your appointment now with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. Once again, that's sleepbettercolumbus.com.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, as Care grew over the years, you had many opportunities to sell Care to one of the big conglomerates that are buying companies all over Central Ohio. So tell our customers why you decided to keep Care in the family.
After talking about Care's values for over 30 years, I couldn't bear the thought of Care becoming the kind of company I was warning our customers about. I know the two of you will continue to treat our customers as I would, with honesty and integrity.
We will, Dad. In 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Newman Roofing is proud to sponsor the Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat fan drive. Help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. Purchase new box fans and take them to the nearest Franklin County Fire Station or buy online. For more information, go to lifecarealliance.org.
Join the Fan weeknights at 6 for the Buckeye Show. And if you're asking if it's just a bunch of homers rooting for all things Ohio State, yes it is. Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey there, I'm Brad. I'm about to win the Tuesday Night Bowling League Championship. Strike. I'm also a highway worker for the Ohio Department of Transportation. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can bowl the winning strike with my buddies.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention, like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself, or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Chances of showers and thunderstorms today will be a lot more spread out than this morning. Otherwise, expect skies to be mostly to partly cloudy with our afternoon highs in the upper 80s. For tonight, mostly clear skies overnight, lows down right around 70. And then for tomorrow, we'll see chances of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, more isolated in nature. Otherwise, skies will be mostly sunny with our highs near 90. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Buckeye games have been airing on WBNS since before you were born and before your parents were born and before Abraham Lincoln was born. Trust me, your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time to hit the categories on the SMU Mustangs. Go ahead and hit it. What are we dealing with here? This is Pony Battle Cry. Okay. That works.
Oh, yeah. Sounds
I'm
college.
in for that. Yeah, that sounds that way. All right, NIL portal grade for SMU. Jake, what do you got?
I think it was pretty good. They brought in 20 guys. It looked like they kind of retained a lot, too. Just address some areas like the offensive line. They brought in some pieces there, which is always good. I'd probably go with a B. I mean, they retained a lot, so I'll go with a B there.
I'm going with a B plus because I think they kind of like Ohio State, but on a lesser degree. They kind of hit the they hit the spots they needed to hit in the transfer portal, if you follow my drift there. So Ohio State's been really good at that, bringing in exactly the right guy or guys. And so I'm going with a B+.
Yeah, I think it's B+, A- area. And the other thing about it, and this tells you a little bit about how they operate, they didn't lose anybody they didn't want to.
Correct.
No one's poaching their guys. So that tells you that they're getting it done in NIL. And portaling, they were pretty savvy with how they attacked things and had a pretty good portal year as well. Would Buddy Garrity, the famous booster from Friday Night Lights, want to run their collective grade?
I don't know that he would, just because it's in Texas and there's so much to battle there. I mean, like with all the newfound money that Texas Tech has now, you still got to worry about Texas and Baylor and TCU or Houston. SMU is better than some of those programs that I just listed, so maybe, but I don't. With how much competition's there, I don't think so.
Number one, who saw Texas Tech coming in all realms, including softball? You know, they got Ohio State's catcher from last year. I mean, wow.
Well, you watched Landman. You knew they got the money out there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, they got the money. Just give me a portal. I mean, give me a way to use it, right? I mean, that's legal or looks legal. Yeah, I think Buddy Garrity would love to run. I think he'd love the situation at SMU. It's like his ballywick. Are you kidding me? Heck yeah.
I think it's an A+.
Give him. Oh, I was just supposed to give a grade there. Give him an A.
I think it's an A+.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's 3 programs that he wouldn't want to run more.
Exactly.
I just think it's like maybe he'd rather run Texas's, maybe he'd rather run A&M's, but it's a short list that's better than this one. This is in Dallas. I mean, it's everything that he'd want.
Oh, yeah. I mean, JR's right up the street, and I'm just joking.
God.
By the way, I don't know if we talked about this last week and you weren't here and stuff, but or a couple of weeks ago, but maybe you and I did, but T. Boone Pickens was just right guy at the wrong time, right? I mean, imagine, man.
Well, he would have done what's happening at Texas Tech and all of it. Like he would have $100 million
at
roster.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Of course, he did that anyway to a certain extent, but go ahead.
He did. He did the best he could. Built stadiums.
Yeah, he did. He did the best he could. There you go.
Campus social life grade. Have you been there, Jake? Have you been to the SMU campus?
I have not, no. I've never really. I don't think I've been to Texas once, actually.
Okay.
Just anywhere in there.
They're a big-time sorority, fraternity type school.
Yeah.
One of my best friends went to SMU. He was from one of the richer families in Lufkin, but, ended up being a lawyer. It depends on how you classify it. I think it'd be in the A category for all kinds of reasons. And because the on-campus social kind of atmosphere is cool. And then right off campus, you got Dallas, right? So pretty sweet.
I think it'd be an A for me, too. Yeah, like you said, it's in Dallas. It looks like a beautiful campus just based off pictures.
It is.
But, yeah, it looks like they've got a bunch of areas around campus, too, for students to hit up. So, yeah, A for me.
I'm going to go A- just because it's a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
But it's a who's who. I mean, it is truly a who's who of the kids who go there, the legacies that go there. The Hunt family, of course, used to own the Crew and own the Kansas City Chiefs. Their whole thing goes there. I mean, it's just kind of the way they do it. Didn't George W. Bush's daughters go there? One of them did.
George W. Bush is right down the road there. You know.
Yeah. It's a who's who.
Yeah.
Who's who of folks who go there. Do they wear the right uniform grade, Jake?
I will give this a B. I really like the shade of blue that they have. The pony on the helmet, too. It just goes perfectly. I do like their alternates, too, where it has Dallas written in cursive. I think that's pretty tough. So I'll go with an A. Or wait, I said a B.
Yeah.
Jake, you sound like my kid using that. Sounds tough. That's how old I am. You sound just like my 13-year-old. Is this tough, Dad? Is this tough?
Yeah. I'm not necessarily a fan of the Dallas aspect because you're SMU, you know. I mean, but I've always liked their uniforms because they reminded me of some of the uniforms you could order in the Sears catalog. You know, when I was growing up, we got to pick out different things for Christmas, and but that blue has always set them apart, in my opinion, and that pony on the side of the helmet is just cool.
It really is. I think it's an A+ uniform. I really do. I don't know why more teams haven't used this version of, and I'm talking about pro sports, all of it. Like that kind of like, it's not a royal blue, it's a little softer, and then with the bright red and the white, it just looks perfect.
Yes.
I mean, it's just a perfect look, and I don't know why more don't do it. Ole Miss is starting to do it a little bit with their sky blues, like working that in a little bit more, but that's a lot lighter. But I think they're beautiful. I think everything about them hits from a uniform standpoint. It's a really easy brand to get behind. Which player off their team would we want in scarlet and gray, Jake?
I mean, it would be Kevin Jennings for me. Outside of him, there's not much that I would really want up here in Columbus. He's electric, and just I know we've got the quarterback battle going on, but he's a little bit experienced, so that'd be nice to have.
I like their tackle, P.J. Williams. This guy was part of that super team, that class that Texas A&M brought in back in 22 or whenever it was, when Ross Bjork was still down there. But then he got in some trouble on campus, I think, with a marijuana arrest and something else. But gets in the portal or transfers and ends up in a proper place for him, SMU. But the guy would, I think, play immediately. He's 6'5", 318, just considered to have great feet, right on everything you want in an offensive tackle. He could be a little bit tougher, maybe some people think, but I think he would play on this Ohio State team.
Yeah, he's one that jumped out to me. Another name that jumped out to me is Jeffrey Emba. They just got him in the transfer portal from Purdue. He was originally at Auburn, but the reason I say him is because he's a D tackle, and that's kind of the one spot where I think we could use a little bit of help is in the middle of that defensive line, and they went out and they were pretty aggressive in bringing guys in to really buoy. They understand. Rhett Lashley made his bones as an offensive coach, but he understands that it's in the trenches defensively where if you can get there, then you can beat Penn State, then you can beat those teams, and it really is those lines of scrimmage, and they were very aggressive. They brought in 4 or 5 transfer portal guys on the defensive line, and Imba's the best of those, who was at Purdue last year.
They got the quarterback, the Van Dyke kid, right, from Wisconsin, got hurt, didn't he? Not Wisconsin. Didn't he end up going there? I think so. As a backup to
Jennings?
Yeah.
Let me pull it up. He is.
Tyler Van Dyke. Yeah.
He's still there.
He's been around, man.
Everywhere.
He's got the Dylan Gabriel thing going on.
Except he
hadn't played as much.
He hasn't played as much. Yeah, absolutely. All-time big man on campus at SMU. Who do you got?
All right, hand up. I don't know much about SMU football, so just looking at some research, for me, it'd be Eric Dickerson.
Man, you stole my answer.
Probably safe bet.
I tell you what, Jerry Levias in the day was revolutionary. Jerry Levias was, in my opinion, still an underrated talent. He ended up going to San Diego Chargers and playing a long time in the National Football League. But he was he broke a lot of barriers showing up there, and it was important at that moment in time. But I got to go with Eric Dickerson too, dude. When they played, when it was him and Craig James, and they played in Dallas's Cowboy Stadium, the one with a hole in the roof. They finally, they moved all over Dallas. They played in the Cotton Bowl for a while, and then they played there before they got their own campus stadium after the deep probation situation or death penalty. But it was electric when those guys with the lights on at night, with those guys running the ball. I mean, Eric Dickerson was just a man among boys.
It's Dickerson. Like, you could go Doak Walker, you could go Raymond Berry, you could go Craig James, but it's all just disingenuous. Eric Dickerson drove a gold Trans Am that Texas A&M paid for around the SMU campus. You can't get more big man on campus than that. No. That's the list. That's it. He's
Doak Walker could have been that guy. Man, they played in Ownby Stadium back then, but he was. I mean, it was pretty cool back in the Southwest Conference days when things were a little more parity before Texas kind of like took over the roost there. But you're right, Eric Dickerson, man. I don't know how you get any bigger than that.
No. All right, can they win it all? Playoff, conference champ, respectable, or chump? Well, they wouldn't be here if they were one of the bottom ones. To me, they're right. What do you guys think? Feels like playoffs should be the expectation.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. You just went and you bring back your quarterback and you retain a lot. I think it's definitely the playoffs, especially in the ACC.
They were the loophole last year, I mean, they were the team that got in because they lost their conference championship game, but they still got in. And, good for the committee for doing that because I thought they definitely deserved it. But I think I can see them getting back to the playoffs. This is not if they can get by Clemson And when do they play? In October, and to kind of set the tone. I think they could be on their way.
Yeah, two ACC teams are getting in. I think so. I
agree.
My hunch is some combination of Clemson, Miami, SMU. Two of those three are going to get in, and this year they play both Clemson and Miami in the regular season. Billy Embody covers the Ponies on the Pony Express. We'll get his take on that in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
Hey, it's Timmy Hall. Sometimes dealing with home service contractors can be frustrating. Not like me singing loudly in the shower frustrating. Real life aggravation. They might not return your call. The workmanship is sloppy. Maybe there's just general indifference about helping you. Frustrating sometimes doesn't even describe it. That's why I want to tell you about my new friends at Victor's Home Solutions. Victor's installs the highest quality roofs and windows you can buy, and they'll take those negative experiences you've had and turn them on their head. You'll experience prompt follow-up service, on-time appointments, and their teams are helpful, professional, and courteous. Their service and installation crews always go above and beyond because they know how much your home means to you. They offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install, and their windows come fully equipped with lifetime warranties. So call 1-866-VICTORS or go to victors.com. Get your free 21-point roof and window inspection. Experience their 5-star customer service and see why they have a 4.9 Google rating. Again, that's 1-866-VICTORS or victors.com.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Beth, you're in charge of ordering the tacos for the meeting today, yeah?
I'm not going to order the tacos.
What?
I'm going to Easy Cater the tacos. With Easy Cater, you can order from a huge variety of restaurants, track expenses, and save time.
Nice.
Oh, by the way, you're emailing the meeting notes, right?
No, I'm going to easy mail them. Where's my music?
Sorry, Ben. There's no Easy Cater for that.
Easy Cater, the easy way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, let's get some perspective on the Ponies of SMU. Our good buddy Billy Embody on theponyexpress.com, joining on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Billy, thank you so much for taking the time, buddy. As always, the Ponies make the list. Last year they were on the list. I was just so curious to see what would happen in the first year of the ACC. I remember talking to you last summer, and you said, I think they're going to be able to hang, and boy, could they. In terms of debuts, you could not have done better than that debut in the ACC last year for the Ponies.
No, you couldn't have. And even though I said that they could hang and there was a path to being successful, I don't know if I would have predicted that. It was a wild ride last year for them, just not even from the whole standpoint of, watching them make the college football playoff and the ACC championship, but how they got there, making a quarterback change, completely blowing up what they had kind of planned for. That was a huge, huge deal for SMU fans as a whole. That was Preston Stone's job, who's an SMU legacy, a face of the program type of player. And after he led you to an AAC championship game appearance, you go to Kevin Jennings, and it was a big, big deal, and not something that a lot of fans were really happy with, quite frankly. But they made the move, and boy, did it pay off.
Yep, that's a lot of guts by Lashley. I mean, to make that move, to recognize this guy can take you maybe to a level that the other guy can't, right, Billy? I mean, it just shows you what he's all about as a head coach.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he's always somebody that's going to prioritize doing what's right for his team, even if he knows it might not be well received. That's why they really push their culture heavily, and they really, really pay attention to evaluations culturally and from a character perspective, because they really haven't brought in too many guys. There's probably 2, 3, 4 guys on the team each year that don't necessarily end up being what they were hoping for culturally, but they're really able to get people in line and kind of keep building on that culture that has started off so strong under his leadership. So it's a big piece of the puzzle for them, and that's kind of how he that's what he has guiding all of his decisions is the culture before even player evaluations.
And the other thing you notice when you look at this roster and you think about all the guys coming back, and your boots on the ground, we're 30,000 feet, but it doesn't appear that they lost anybody. It feels like they retained the guys they wanted. They were able to kind of be pretty strategic in the portal to bring in some guys to be in the mix. And now you look at them and you go, okay, they're recruiting at a pretty good level. They're in the portal at a good level. They're retaining their own players. We know what they have in terms of money behind the program. Kind of checking every box. And maybe last year was a year early because now it feels like this year they could be right back in it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They do lose a lot off of the defensive line. I will say that. It's a revamped group on the defensive line, and they do lose Brashard Smith, an All-American running back. But you're right. Other than that, they've really been able to address some different needs and fill some holes very, very well. And I mean, they really should be right back in the picture for the ACC championship game and thus a college football playoff appearance. And I don't want to say that's probably the expectations, but that would be what can very well happen. They expect to win 9, 10, 11 games.
Yeah.
I think that kind of in that range, with what they have coming back. And anytime you have a quarterback of the level of Kevin Jennings returning, that should be your general jumping off point. But if things fall the way they did for them last year with that defense and some of the new faces they brought in up front, that'll probably be a likely scenario where they're back in Charlotte trying to win it this time.
Hey, Billy, I don't know how old you are. I'm 71. I grew up in East Texas, a town called Lufkin. Whatever. When SMU with Hayden Fry kind of like made their move, to a certain extent. But what I'm getting to here is when SMU fell out of favor with the death penalty, obviously. What do you think from what your research has shown? Because I would think you weren't around then. But what has research shown you that it took them so long to keep knocking on doors till they got this shot again in a big time conference? I mean, and do you think they shocked the ACC last year with how ready they were to make that move?
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there, but that death penalty was such a huge deal for the school. I mean, it almost bankrupted the school in a way. And from what I've heard from talking with people that were around and spent a lot of time around that situation was, the school almost closed over it. Yeah. I mean, they really, really took it in worse ways than just losing their football team for a couple of years. It was a major, major deal for the university as a whole. And so when you have something like that, when you are so impacted negatively by the football team, a lot of people just wanted nothing to do with having a football team that had any sort of advantage, that had any sort of, even from an academics perspective, they had to be enrolled or land in the school from the regular admissions department. So that made signing players difficult. I mean, they blew it all up, basically. I mean, not just, okay, the death penalty happened and we're back to business as usual. It was a major change overall from the university. And so,
let me interject. Imagine being Forrest Gregg back then. Imagine that.
Oh my God.
Dealing with that.
No,
mess.
I mean, it's just a mess, and it took people kind of remembering that time and how good it was to kind of chip away at. All right, let's get a major that's let's get a sports management major. Let's go out and pay June Jones a bunch of money. Yeah. Let's go get Chad Morris when June is done, and they just kept chipping away at big moves, and now everything's kind of in place. I mean, I'm sure there's things that they want to improve still. I mean, I know the stadium is one that I think you'll see expanded in the next couple of years, and that'll kind of be the icing on the cake, and they'll quote unquote be back. But yeah, it's been just a long road to just chip away from something that really almost wrecked the university overall, not just the football team.
Billy, what did this run last year? What did it do to reinvigorate? I mean, because the way you kind of describe that is look, there were a bunch of folks who are SMU through and through who were there was a time many decades ago they were kind of ashamed of the football program a little bit and kind of like, God, just be done with these guys. Now all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a second, now we're back in and we're good again. Like it feels like it's kind of like lighting a fuse a little bit. What was that like around the program in terms of reinvigorating boosters and dollars? Because that's where this sport is.
Yeah, there's been a couple of key boosters that and donors that have really spent to make this move to the ACC happen and all of those things. David Miller, Bill Armstrong, I mean, so many people through the years have been critical in this. But, once they got that taste of success, that's where it really even ramped up even more. They saw it by getting, a team together that ended up winning the AAC. And then, by that point, they knew they were going to the ACC, and they raised $100 million in 1 week. And just I mean, they just, jeez. Once they realized they were back, quote unquote, it's just made it that much easier in a way. They even went out and got Jay Hartzell to be the president from Texas. They went and got Damon Evans away from Maryland. They went and got Andy Enfield to be the basketball coach from USC. I mean, it's just they're on a heater. Let's just put it like that. People don't want it to end. They just want to keep doubling down.
Yeah, they're in a rules adhering heater, as opposed to the old days. But right. Who knows what went on in the old days, right? But that's a story for another day. But hey, Billy, real quick, PJ Williams, is he an example of, like you said, the guy's got to fit your culture, got to fit in? Obviously, a big time player. Had his problems at Texas A&M off the field and stuff, but he's clearly been a great reclamation project, if in fact that's even what you would call it. But that's a big-time player playing tackle, right?
Oh, my gosh. He has been dominant, quite frankly, especially over the last year. Yeah. And, I mean, in spring practice, he was particularly very, very, very good. Like, you can see some guys just have it and are going to be playing on Sundays if they, focus on what they need to focus on, and athletically, talent-wise, physically. I mean, he's that guy. I think he's probably going to be, if people really watch and pay attention, either a first team or maybe second team all ACC guy at minimum. They're very, very, very excited about him. And yeah, he absolutely had some run-ins there when it comes to his time at Texas A&M. But I'll tell you this, I actually bumped into him on his visit, and I mean, just couldn't have been a nicer young man. And I remember him coming out of high school and how highly touted he was and all those things. And then you watch him get to SMU, and you're out there at practice, or the practice is ending, and he's going down the line and he's shaking, boosters' hands that are there, and introducing himself and saying, "Thank you so much for this opportunity." I mean, that was wild. Wow. Just watching like that type of a, person just operate. I mean, you just never would have expected him to be somebody that would have had some issues here and there at A&M, even legal ones. So, I mean, he moved past that, and has just really been somebody that they're very, very excited about. And he's the exact type of person that you want representing your program. Like, I know he's not going to ACC media days, but he's just opened up, and he's just honestly just a joy to talk to. I mean, let alone cover.
Billy, I'll get you out of here on this one. I'm always curious this for the folks who are on the boots on the ground situation with these teams, and that is, how will you judge this team? What prism will you judge them through this season, and what is a fair prism to judge SMU through this year?
Yeah, it's such a really interesting question, because SMU faces Baylor and TCU in their non-conference. So those are two massive, massive games for a multitude of reasons. I mean, rivalry games, old Southwest Conference, recruiting in the state of Texas, SMU trying to stay ahead of those two programs in terms of where the pecking order is, at least currently. And at the same time, they mean absolutely nothing to the ACC schedule that they're going to play. They could lose both and still punch their ticket to the college football playoff. Mm-hmm. All of those things could happen. But I would say a successful season would be 10 wins. So you get at worst, you split those two, Baylor, TCU. Mm-hmm. You maybe lose to a Louisville or Miami or Clemson, but then you still find your way in to the championship game in Charlotte, and then all bets are off. You'll either come up short or you'll be in the college football playoff no matter what. So that would be a successful season, and then who knows? I think the world of Kevin Jennings. I know he had horrible game against Penn State, but if people go back and watch that second half of that Clemson game, I mean, that's what helped SMU. I think they trailed maybe like a handful of minutes or something in ACC play all season. I mean, they were that good because Kevin Jennings was mostly second half Kevin Jennings against Clemson. And if that game goes to overtime, most people figure they find a way to win with the momentum they have.
Agreed. Yeah. Good stuff as always, buddy. Appreciate the conversation. Thanks for your time.
Anytime, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, there he goes. Billy Embody on the PonyExpress.com on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We do 3 things on a Monday. Up next, Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And while we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
When you speed, you have less time to react. Follow the speed limit to keep other road users safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA. At Delta Dental of Ohio, we understand oral and vision health is connected to overall well-being. With Delta Dental and Delta Vision, you get affordable, comprehensive coverage from a name you know and trust. Our plans are designed to keep your teeth strong and vision clear, so you can confidently smile at life. 2 great plans, 1 name you can trust. Learn more at deltadentaloh.com.
Say goodbye to car care headaches with Carvenience from Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. For only $49, we'll pick up your vehicle, leave you with a rental, and return it fully serviced and spotless. No more juggling your schedule or wasting hours at the shop. Carvenience lets you focus on what matters while we take care of all the rest, making life easier. Schedule your service today at HindererMotorCompany.com.
Imagine what it would feel like getting tackled head-on by a 240-pound linebacker. You'd be in serious pain, right? But if you're unbuckled in a car crash, at just 50 miles an hour, you become a deadly projectile that can slam into other passengers with 8 times that amount of force. Don't let someone else take the hit. Buckle up and visit buckleup.ohio.gov to learn more. Brought to you by ODOT and ODPS.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Save big on 6 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Right now, select varieties are only $2.99 each with your digital coupon. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
It's July in Central Ohio. The grills are hot, the sun is hotter, and chances are you've seen a Newman Roofing truck rolling through your neighborhood. Maybe you've talked to one of our team members at a local event, or know someone who proudly says, "Yeah, I've got a Newman roof." At Newman Roofing, we're more than just a roofing company. We're your neighbors. And for the last 33 years, your support has helped us grow as a family-owned business. So we give back the best way we know how, with quality work, lasting relationships, and a lifetime workmanship warranty that means you'll never be left out in the rain. Thousands of families across Central Ohio have trusted us and had their expectations exceeded. And it's why we've been voted Best Roofing Company in Best of the Bus magazine for 4 years running now. So this summer, don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Join now.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
My AC stopped working. Your competition says it's fried. When I saw their cost to replace it, I could have just died.
We can give a second opinion, give you options and advice. We'll strive to earn your trust and make you a client for life.
Get a free second opinion. Replace or repair.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Make back to
to school a good deal better with school supplies and essentials for $1 or less at Meijer. Stock up on 24-count Crayola crayons and Elmer's 4-ounce washable school glue for 50 cents each. Crayola 10-count markers for $1. And Meijer's 70-sheet notebooks are 45 cents each. Heading back to school with what you need to succeed. That's the good life at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
First Friday miracles are always better with Uncle Bo. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, Jake, what do we have on the poll today, my friend?
So today's fan poll is, if you could only watch one of these actors' catalogs for the rest of your life, who would you choose? Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise, or Harrison Ford? Right now, Tom Hanks has the slight lead at 34.3%, then Harrison Ford at 34%, and Tom Cruise at 31.6%.
It's really close. I mean, I could do 15 minutes on that.
That's the way it's split the way it ought to be there. It's pretty.
You got Hank slightly ahead?
I got Hank slightly ahead because a couple of his movies I really like watching.
Boy, it feels like Cruise would be the most fun, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you had the Cruise catalog, that's probably the most fun. Ford kind of floundered late, but is early. I mean, you're Indiana Jones and you're Han Solo. That's pretty hard to beat.
Yeah.
That stuff.
The Fugitive.
So good in The Fugitive.
Yeah.
So I would probably go Cruise. Of course, because it's on TV, and if it's on, you're going to watch it. It's great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Rothman and Ice. They're going courtside. Join AR and Matty Ice live from the Shot. They bring you exclusive access to Buckeye basketball summer workouts. Going to sit down with Coach Diebler, select players, inside interviews you won't hear anywhere else. Rothman and Ice live from Buckeye basketball summer workouts. It is tomorrow from noon to 3 on the Fan, Ohio sports destination. That will be very, very cool. Good job out of those guys getting that done. Let's hit 3 things on a Monday.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
All right, number 1 for me, as I mentioned earlier in the show last week, the oldest and I went and saw the F1 movie. It was one of those that I wanted to see on the big screen, and despite the exorbitant cost for a matinee for about a U.S. grant in order to afford the damn thing, it was very much well worth it, and it's still great. A big screen with big audio on a big movie like that is still pretty damn undefeated. I don't do it as often as I'd like, but when I go, it never really disappoints.
Even my wife, I'm going with the same thing as my one thing, and my first thing is the F1 the movie. But my wife even enjoyed it because it had Brad Pitt in it, and she
God, he's so handsome.
Yeah, right on down the line. They had a couple of implausible things in there because he would have been kicked out of F1 after that one race where he set up. I won't get into it.
Yeah.
Where he kept taking people out
over and over.
Yeah, and then having an affair with the aerodynamicist engineer lady that probably wouldn't have washed either. Although who knows, man? Christian Horner. Well, anyway, that's another story. But the bottom line is totally enjoyed the movie.
Really fun.
Yes.
My first thing, Home Run Derby tonight. I've always loved this event. I know it gets different reviews each year, and they change the format, it seems like, every single year. But I'm excited for it. I think Big Dumper Cal Raleigh, I think he's going to pull away with it.
I don't even know who that is. Or what sport that is, Jake. I don't know any of that. I've been to a home run. I'll make this my number 2. I've been to a home run derby. It was up in Cleveland. I want to say Pete Alonso won it, but
that sounds right. He's won a lot of them too.
It was Vlad Guerrero who put on the show, and Guerrero had a streak that was unbelievable, and I was like, and he doesn't win because it happened in the wrong round, and if that's the case, you're doing this wrong. So all of the changes they've made to it, I think, have really confused it and really screwed it up. Like, just get back to the simple thing, and then I think then you're going to get more and more of those where the right people end up winning. Because the idea that Guerrero Jr. didn't win that year was nuts. Because he had a stretch of hits that was just thrilling to see in person.
Did you know that before the PGA Championship, the major one of the majors, they used to have a long drive contest way back in the 60s
really?
And stuff? Yeah, I think
that's
Nicklaus.
cool.
I think Nicklaus won it back. Nicklaus, yeah, I thought it was cool. I think they're really missing a beat there. By the way, my number 2 thing, I'm at my best in scrambles, because that means all of my shots don't count. But boy, when I stroke a putt in there, something like I did on our last hole the other day, which ended up being the difference, I think. But it was so much fun playing with those guys, and we won. I've been part of like 5 or 6 winning scramble competitions. Moose, my buddy Paul Spahn.
Of course, yeah.
Wishing him all the best. He's been going through a few difficulties physically, but we love playing in those things, and especially when we got Big Jake Ballard and Dane Sonsenbacher. But
a pretty good group.
Whenever you win, no matter how you win, whenever you win anything, it's fun, man, and I totally enjoyed myself.
So I'm going to go to the NBA Summer League here because I've been locked into it because that's the sicko that I am. But shout out to E.J. Liddell, former Buckeye. He's with the Denver Nuggets. And last Thursday against the Bucks, he posted a double-double off the bench, 12 points, 11 boards. Hope to see him get some NBA time here soon.
I will say, and I'll make this my third since you went down that, I did watch the Cooper Flagg debut.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really cool how they took something that on a night where there wasn't a lot of sports that was out there, that it didn't mean anything, but they were really smart to put him against Bronny. That crowd was really into it. There was a lot of juice in the game. It was a fun watch. I enjoyed it. So I don't normally watch Summer League, but that was a really fun watch. I liked it.
Yeah, they sent me to Orlando to cover LeBron James' first game in the Summer League way back in, what was that, 2003? Yeah. And the first time he drove the lane, a guy just stuck his elbow right in his chest and knocked him backwards. And I remember asking him about that after the game, and he was nonplussed by it. He expected to go through a school of hard knocks before he got to where he wanted to go there. It was pretty cool. By the way, my third thing is pulling fence posts, which I'm in the process of doing now, replacing 100 yards of 3-board fence because of my neighbor's driveway. Ruined my fence on that side. I don't know why I'm doing it and he's not doing it, but that's another story. But Bo, it's been 90 degrees the last many days, and and I've been out there losing weight and feeling good about it. But man, you grew up on a ranch in Montana. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Last thing
I've done a lot of that, yeah.
Last thing for me, Rothman and Ice. Devere Posey is in for Rothman today. They're going down to SEC Media Days, diving into Texas with Eric Henry of 24/7 Sports to talk about the Texas Longhorns.
There you go. You have that to look forward to, which is nice. Always a pleasure, Tim. Always a pleasure, my friend. It always is. You have that to look forward to. We're back tomorrow. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvus weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real, The Fan.
Your bathroom's got to go, the vanity's decayed, and toilet's really old. The bathtub's giving way. If that's our us a ring, call morning, noon, or night. You do not have to wait to get your bathroom right.
Call Baths R Us for your free estimate and enter to win our Christmas in July $12,500 bathroom remodel with an additional savings of up to $3,000 plus low to no monthly payments. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Friday, July 25th is Recovery Ohio's Mental Health Day at the Ohio State Fair. Visit the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, the Department of Insurance, and other state agency booths. Come learn about mental health resources available to you and to your family. Join us on Friday, July 25th for Recovery Ohio's Mental Health Day at the Ohio State Fair.
Lindsay Automotive is Central Ohio's big certified pre-owned outlet. LindsayCertified.com makes it easy to find the right car at the right price. All models include certified warranties and inspections, new car financing, and more.
Up to 1,000 pre-owned to choose from.
No matter what kind of vehicle you're looking for, Lindsay has it. Cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. You'll love the shopping experience, whether online or in person.
Shop LindsayCertified.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at RunyonDentalGroup.com. That's RunyonDentalGroup.com.
Skyline
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius. Or two half geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Beth, you're in charge of ordering the tacos for the meeting today, yeah?
I'm not going to order the tacos.
What?
I'm going to Easy Cater the tacos. With Easy Cater, you can order from a huge variety of restaurants, track expenses, and save time.
Nice.
Oh, by the way, you're emailing the meeting notes, right?
No, I'm going to easy mail them. Where's my music?
Sorry, Ben. There's no Easy Cater for that.
Easy Cater, the easy way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and at Toyota West, we're having our biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're searching for. And during our Go Forth sales event, every pre-owned vehicle is discounted and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. At Toyota West, you don't have to choose between a great experience and a great price. We deliver both. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot. How